A special service is set to be held Thursday night at the Cathedral of Christ the King in Atlanta. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
It's 69 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says chance of rain going up this afternoon around the metro area after some of us got wet this morning. Today's high will stick in the mid to upper 70s. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Well, stock futures are way up so far this morning, following another rough start to the week on Wall Street. It follows President Trump's latest public criticism about Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell and Powell's questioning of planned U.S. tariffs. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the Fed was created more than a century ago as an independent entity to be free of influence from politicians.
Because politicians generally like low interest rates. That boosts the economy, people get jobs. The problem is sometimes when you drop interest rates too quickly, it can also foster inflation.
We'll check the numbers and the bell rings about 30 minutes from now. Uncertainty about the U.S. economy now has the Dow on track for its worst April since the Great Depression. The Anti-Defamation League says a new audit has found the number of anti-Semitic incidents around the U.S. has hit a record high. Overall, it recorded more than 9,300 incidents just last year. The league's Rachel Sass notes they've seen a 900% jump in the last decade.
But the most dramatic increase happened after October 7th, 2023, when Hamas launched its terrorist attack in Israel.
Now, Georgia actually saw a drop in overall incidents last year, but officials note a rise in vandalism and anti-Semitic activities on college campuses. Plans move forward to turn the Amsterdam Walk Shopping Center in Midtown Atlanta into one of the biggest developments along the Beltline in Piedmont Park. Follows a narrow rezoning vote from the Atlanta City Council, despite concerns from some nearby residents.
We want inclusivity, but we also have to have infrastructure. We have to have the roads. No one's talked about the overcrowding in the schools.
Plans to the 10-acre site include more than 1,000 rental units, along with mixed-use buildings as tall as 9 stories. First phase of the project expected to take 5 years to complete. Disease detectives from around the world are now in downtown Atlanta for the annual Epidemic Intelligence Service Conference, which began this morning.
This is where they are presenting their science and refining their skills and craft and how to best communicate scientific information.
CDC's Dr. Eric Pevsner says they'll be giving information on everything from chronic diseases to environmental contaminations. Even outbreaks of anthrax and bird flu will be mentioned. The conference runs all week at the Hyatt Regency downtown. And Uber launches a new shuttle service between Hartsfield-Jackson Airport and downtown and midtown Atlanta next month. Shuttles will run every 30 minutes from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m., although the company is not revealing the specific pickup points yet. Shuttles will include 14 passenger vehicles. Passengers will be able to reserve a spot a week ahead of time on the Uber app. Rates are fixed based on the route. Uber plans to offer a promo price of $10 one way for the first month here in Atlanta. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. First, triple team traffic. Smiling Mark McKay.
Hi, Judd. Right now, 985 southbound is shut down, rolling into Buford out of Flowery Branch to move a crash to the right shoulder. Those southbound lanes, both of them are closed before Buford Drive, exit 4. Heavy delays being heading to Flowery Branch means using Highway 13, Atlanta Highway. The 85 delays are still in place between Duluth and Highway 316 and Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Travel advisory rolling into Cobb County. A couple of right lanes lost. 85, 3 of them, matter of fact. 85 southbound past exit 99, Jimmy Carter Boulevard. Still sounding the red alert if you're leaving northern Gwinnett County, headed north toward Chateaualon. Ashley Frasca.
Earlier crash and truck fire. Now cleanup underway on 85 north. It is still shut down just before Highway 53. The Brazelton exit 129. Delays begin north of Hamilton Mill Road. So the best alternate, even though it is crowded up, is Highway 124, which runs east of I-85. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with off and on rain showers. A few rumbles of thunder possible. High 78. Lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with scattered rain showers. High near 80. Mostly cloudy with a few showers and storms on Thursday. Highs in the upper 70s.
67 degrees in Fairburn, 66 in Cummings, 69 degrees now in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
If I were to compare today's show to a fast food item, this would be a triple quarter pounder with cheese show for you today, friends. Welcome to the Mark Arum Show. So much to talk about. The Defense Secretary and another Signal app controversy. We'll go to the White House, get the very latest on that. For you true crime fans, this is pretty exciting. 11:05, Gilbert King's going to join us. He is an author, producer, podcaster, one of the most popular true crime podcasts going on right now. He joins us live, and we continue to be the show that keeps on giving. Next hour, chance for you to win $1,000 in the 5K day bonus blitz. And in the final hour of the show, Deborah's got another amazing pair of tickets to give away. Billy Idol and Joan Jett, May 9th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. So much to get to today. We're going to start, though, continuing our team coverage of the passing of Pope Francis. In just a couple of minutes, we're going to have a priest joining us live who is heading to Rome for the ceremonies there involving Pope Francis. But right now, we kick off our team coverage from ABC News in Rome. It is Inez de la Cuartara. Inez, good morning. First off, just 24 hours ago, we got word that the pontiff had passed. 24 hours later, what's the scene like in Rome and outside the Vatican?
Hey, good morning. Yeah, I mean, I think people are just starting to wrap their head around this. I think there was a lot of surprise yesterday. I was on St. Peter's Square throughout the afternoon. There was a lot of sorrow. It was a very somber atmosphere, but also a lot of shock, frankly. I think people didn't expect this. We saw Pope Francis just on Sunday when he surprised the crowd to deliver his famous Easter blessing. He then got in the Pope Mobile. He was greeting crowds. We saw him meeting with Vice President J.D. Vance. And while he certainly looked frail and he, sounded weak, we thought that the fact that he was, greeting the crowds and back out there was a good sign, a sign that he was on the mend. So I think a lot of Catholics around the world were shocked to learn of his passing on Monday morning and on Easter Monday.
Indeed. Have we heard from the Vatican about a cause of death for Pope Francis?
Yes, so we did hear from Vatican doctors just yesterday. We understand that the actual cause of death was a stroke and cardiac arrest. They did also say that it was linked to his prior illnesses. So we know he was hospitalized on February 14th with bronchitis, which then turned into double pneumonia. He suffered 2 life-threatening crises when he was in the hospital. But he was released from the hospital, over a month later. We thought that was a good sign. The doctors had advised him to rest, to lay low. But of course, I think, anyone who kind of knew Pope Francis or watched Pope Francis closely knew how much he loved to work and how much he loved to be in the crowd. So there was some skepticism when we heard that his doctors were encouraging him to kind of lay low. And so, Pope Francis just loved to work and loved to be out there.
Inez de la Cuartara in Rome, Italy, joining us here on the Mark Arum Show. I'm not sure if they would even release it if they had them, but any final words from the pontiff? Do we know if he was able to say anything before he expired?
We did get his last will and testament yesterday, and he was quite involved in planning his own funeral. He simplified a lot of the funeral rites, for example. And yesterday, in his last will and testament, we learned that he wanted to be buried at St. Mary Major. That is unusual. Most popes are buried at St. Peter's Basilica. We learned that he wants a simple tomb, that he wants, very little kind of decorations on his grave, which I think is very much in line with who he was and what he thought the role of a pope should be. He always lived modestly. He believed men of the church should live modestly, not in gilded palaces and gilded basilicas. He lived his life that way, and I think we're going to see that reflected throughout this funeral process. And he did say he made kind of a final wish for peace in that will and testament. He offers up his suffering, from his illness and from the last few weeks. He says, in the hopes for peace around the world.
What happens in the next couple of days heading up to the Pope's funeral?
Yeah, so now we know that we just got a date actually for the funeral just this morning. So we now know it's going to be held on Saturday in St. Peter's Square. It's going to be held at 10 a.m. local time. So that's, I think, 4 a.m. Your time. And we're starting to hear of, people who are going to be attending. We know, for example, President Trump has said he would attend with the First Lady. He met with Pope Francis during his first term back in 2017. There's going to be, a few things have to happen now. So we just saw the first images of Pope Francis' body in his coffin released this morning. That's for a private viewing for loved ones and, people who he worked with, church officials. So the private viewing is first. Then his body will be transferred to St. Peter's Basilica for a public viewing. We're expecting hundreds of thousands of people to attend that. Then there will be the funeral mass on St. Peter's Square, the burial, and then the second part of all of this will be the conclave and electing a new pope.
Yeah, I would imagine too. I'm trying to think about the last time that we laid a pope to rest. There were a ton of people that went to Rome, went to the Vatican for the services, and I suspect we'll see great crowds again this time.
I'm sure, especially because Pope Francis was so beloved, right? So he will be remembered as the people's pope. He worked to reach out, to kind of isolated communities around the world. And yes, I'm sure we'll see kind of massive crowds descending on Rome to pay their respects. We're already seeing tributes pouring in from around the world.
Inez, thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
9/11 on the Mark Arum Show, continuing our team coverage of the passing of Pope Francis. As Inez mentioned there, St. Peter's Square, the funeral, 10 a.m. local time, which Inez said would be 4 a.m. here in Atlanta. But I know a lot of my Catholic friends that live in the metro area will get up and watch that. I'm sure it's going to be broadcast around the globe, the first papal funeral since John Paul. Joining us now on the show, I'm very excited. It is Father Marcel Taillon. Father, good morning. Thanks for your time. Sources tell me you will be in Rome, coincidentally, around the time of the Pope's funeral.
I'm actually leaving today. I'm flying through France to Rome. I'll be there tomorrow afternoon and plan to attend the funeral and be participating in the rituals and the gathering, obviously, with the Catholic family from the whole world. So I've lived in Rome many years, but was not present for John Paul's funeral or Benedict, who I loved very much, but it'd be a very special grace. So I'll heading out there in a couple hours.
Now, did you book the flight when you found the Pope's passing, or was this a previously scheduled trip?
So I was supposed to go on retreat with the head of the seminary there in Rome for the United States, and we were supposed to be on retreat this week. So obviously the retreat's canceled. There was a big gathering, a special dinner in Rome that I was attending. Everything's been canceled. There's days of mourning, so a lot of activities. There was even a canonization of a saint on Sunday. Blessed Carlos Acutis was supposed to be canonized, this young boy, a beautiful middle school student that was going to be canonized, but that's also been postponed, not canceled, but so everything's kind of quieting down, and I think people are pouring in. Of course, the cardinals are arriving now to start there, be ready for the funeral, but also to select and pray about his successors. So it's going to be a very tumultuous, exciting, intense time in Rome, but also for the whole world. Obviously, the Pope is a global figure. He's certainly for Catholics, he's our father, but he's also obviously a global figure for so many reasons, and really is such an important office. So, Pope Francis is the 265th Pope, so remember the Church is 2,025 years old. So it's really something. It's an institution that we can marvel at, for all its history, its dignity, and it's a very special week this week.
Father, you're the pastor at St. Thomas More Parish in Narragansett, Rhode Island. What was the reaction from your churchgoers when they found out yesterday morning the passing of the Pope?
Well, obviously, practicing Catholics are very faithful to watch, but we were all shocked, even myself, because, again, I was going to Rome on retreat, and he looked so good. He came out on Easter morning and said Happy Easter. He met with the vice president. He looked better and better than he did months ago, so it was sort of a shock on Easter morning. And Catholics believe the Easter morning's 8 days long, so we technically would say he died on Easter morning, and it was the day after for us, so that was a shock as well, but it just was unexpected, honestly. So people were, I think, kind of shocked. I think people are getting more sad now because it was sort of for all the problems he had, it was unexpected. So sort of like you have a grandfather, who's maybe in a nursing home, comes out, goes to the hospital, comes out, looks great, and then dies the next morning. It was surprising. So I think the reality of it all is kind of settling in right now, I think.
Father Taillon joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. So you've lived in Rome before, so it won't be foreign for you to get there and know your way around. But with everything in flux right now, in the middle of this 9-day mourning period, logistically, what do you expect when you get to Rome and the Vatican with all the devout Catholics coming to pay their respects?
Well, I think it's going to be quite something because this is also what's called the Jubilee. So Pope Francis inaugurated a Jubilee Year of Hope, and in Jubilee years, millions of Catholics go to Rome, so it sort of quadruples the amount of people in town. So many, we call them pilgrims, people that go there intentionally to pray receive what's called an indulgence. So there's already millions of people in Rome, more than usual, because of the Jubilee, and now the Pope's funeral and the conclave. I can't even imagine what the crowds will be like. So it was already the city was at bursting point because of the pilgrims, because Pope Francis initiated this year of hope. So everyone's over there already. I can't even imagine. I think it'll be just teeming with people, and obviously there's news outlets everywhere, and it's just going to be a celebration, a mourning of a passing, but it's a very I just think it'll be overwhelmingly attended and obviously watched, as you mentioned earlier, a global event, and it's something nice because I think the Pope kind of brings the whole human family together, especially this Pope. He's reached out to non-believers and to everybody, sort of everybody's pastor. So it feels, I think people feel their pastor passed away, not just ours, sort of everybody, sort of like the family's pastor. So I think that's why there's such a strong global interest. So I think it'll be very well attended, and so I don't know. I think hope they have enough pizza, to get everybody fed.
I think you'll be fine. Yeah, just speaking of the legacy of Pope Francis, I mean, his mantra was todos, 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 everyone, trying to widen the tent of the Catholic Church. So logistically, do you have a place to stay? Do you stay at a hotel?
I'm blessed. So I studied at a seminary. Every country has their own seminary, and the United States has one called the North American College. It's on Vatican City property. It's on this big hill overlooking the Vatican. It is technically in the Vatican, so I was planning to stay there before, so I'm so blessed because I have a room there, which I'm sure would be hard to get now. But I'm kind of in a really, really good location. I think God hooked me up because I was doing my retreat. So amazingly, I'm in one of the best places to be, right close by. And I think that's the grace of having wanted to go on. I'm not on retreat now, but I have a great room and a great place.
Good.
And among place I know, so I'm excited about that too.
Any idea, Father, on who the cardinals might choose in the conclave? Being in the inner sanctum, so to speak, a man of the cloth, are you talking to your fellow priests and thinking about who might be some of the names that are put forth?
So I mean, the media will put people out. They kind of people consider it like kind of a, they'll make predictions and things. But this time it's very difficult to do that because Pope Francis has expanded what's called a College of Cardinals. So the Pope appoints cardinals, and this Pope has made cardinals from first-time places all over the world. So no one knows who these cardinals are. By and large, they may not know each other very well. They're not really all together, if ever at all, or often. So they don't know each other. We don't know who they are. So it's sort of not the Pope Francis' way, a little bit different. So it's truly a more universal college, or it is a little Eurocentric, but much less so. The church in Africa is booming and Asia is booming. There's some contraction in parts of the United States, other places expansions. But, it's 1.3 billion people, but the cardinals now are from all over. So it's an open, no one knows, and I would remind people, right, when Cardinal Bergoglio became the Pope, he stepped out on the balcony. I was kind of following along, knowing a lot of people. No one knew who he was. I didn't know who he was. And then he took the name Francis. They pick a new name, right? They have to pick a name, and it can't be Peter, the first Pope. They can pick any name but Peter. We've never had one say Francis, and he's a Jesuit, and the most famous Jesuit saint, Francis Xavier. I thought he chose Francis Xavier, and he chose the founder of the Franciscans, Francis of Assisi. So total out of the box, unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that's what happened last time. And I think this time we may even have a more likely unpredictable thing, just because of the history, the appointments, and the lack of knowledge of each other. So we have to pray. I mean, it's a big deal in the church, but also outside. So we just pray that God gives us the right Pope we need for these days, and that's really the key, I think.
Father, final quick question. Did you ever in your travels get a chance to meet Pope Francis?
I did. I met him once at the Vatican. I was there, and someone had got me. I was at a mass, and he had a lot of the disabled people in wheelchairs up towards the front, and I was just behind them. So because this is early on in his papacy, he was very attentive to the disabled and the people with special needs. So I was with them, kind of in that section. So he reached over and grabbed my hand as I was right in that section. So it was kind of nice. But watching him interact with the people that were immobile, he was mobile and they were not. And watching him, he took his time with them. It's sort of like even more so than the diplomats and things. It was very interesting. I remember, just really taking care of the people that were the most needy. And I was in that section, so I got to kind of watch him up close, interact, and people were crying. It was a very moving thing. So, I had that interaction with him, and of course, it's weird. A priest all over the world is, thousands of mass. We have to say the Pope's name every mass when we offer the mass, and so it was weird. But yesterday, we don't have a pope, so you don't say
Yeah.
anyone's name. So it's kind of weird.
Changes everything.
People, yeah, we kind of comes up in strange ways when this is going on. So, but it's exciting times. I promise I'll pray for all our listeners today
Please.
over there, and I would just ask people to just pray for the Pope, but also pray for the successor and the Cardinals. They need our prayers too these days, as we all do. So appreciate your time and your interest in this great topic and great man.
Yeah, Father Marcel Taillon, going to have a front row seat to history. Safe travels. Next time I'm in Rhode Island, lunch on me, Flo's Clam Shack outside of Newport, which is one of my favorite joints.
You're a big spender. I'll buy you a pizza after.
Excellent. Father, thank you
All
so
right.
much for your time, my friend. Coincidentally is going to be in Rome. We'll be there for the funeral, which is set to take place Saturday, 10 a.m. Rome time. We'll have coverage here on 95.5 WSB. Traffic coverage 24/7, of course. Live with the latest. Mike Shields.
And a red alert continues in Brazelton, Mark, with a truck fire cleanup right now. 85 northbound at Highway 53, exit 129. Delays still start back well before Highway 211. Continue to use Highway 124 as an alternate. A crash moved mostly to the right shoulder in Gwinnett County, 85 southbound at Jimmy Carter Boulevard. So on and off the brakes, leaving Highway 316. This report is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio and get an extra 5% off. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news,
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
Oh my God, you just made my day.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 10
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Home improvement projects can be a stressful guessing game. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus, the highest level of communication. The Plus means siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and of course, painting.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We'll make you comfortable and keep you informed with every step of your project.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus, siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in, we'll work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Hey, I love having people over in the springtime, grilling, hanging out on the deck, enjoying the weather. But I'll be honest, I don't like to have people over when the house is not looking its best. Hey, it's Chris Chandler, and our house had that winter buildup, probably just like yours, pollen and algae and grime. So I called Wise Guys Pro Wash. One quick call, got a quote book service the next day. I didn't even have to be there. And when I pulled into the house that next day, the house, the driveway, the deck, Everything looked clean and bright, totally ready for company. We had friends over that weekend, and everybody there said the same thing. Your house looks great. I told them, you have to call Wise Guys Pro Wash. They used soft washing, so it's safe on siding and trim, and the results were amazing. I am done stressing about the house before company comes over because I know Wise Guys has me covered. Mention me, Chris Chandler, and get $70 off your next service. Don't wait. Spring fills up fast. Book now at wiseguysprowash.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Earlier this morning, that's the Vatican Chapel. Cardinals, bishops, nuns all singing after the passing of Pope Francis. Great stuff there with Father Taillon, who is headed to Rome today. I actually just checked flights from Atlanta to Rome, because I assume, Deborah, that if you had the opportunity, you would love to go and see the funeral for Pope Francis, right?
Oh, my God, yeah, to be at the Vatican for that would be huge, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to do some quick math, back of the napkin math, and see if we can afford to send Deborah to the Vatican for the funeral next Saturday. I'm on the Delta app right now. I'll tell you the results. Direct flight, right, Deborah? You don't want to lay over and...
Ideally, a direct would be great.
Lisbon or something. All right, so I'll check that. When we come back, we're going to update our top local stories. An interesting story, too, developing when it comes to AI and filtering out parental levels on apps. Tech expert Ian Scher is going to join us next half hour as well.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today. Here's what you'll get at Wolfpan European Auto Repair in Roswell. Honest pricing, factory-trained certified technicians, and real car lovers working on your Porsche, BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz. Just search Wolfpan Auto Repair and see the difference.
When everyone in the family wants something different from this year's vacation, there's only one thing to do. Plan for Pigeon Forge. From gorgeous mountain views, shows, and shopping for leisure lovers, to coasters, a 200-foot swing, and hundreds more rides for adventure seekers. Plus Dollywood's epic array of fun. There's plenty of variety for the whole family, all in one place. Unique experiences, quality time, and memories for years to come. Find your personal favorites. Plan your getaway at mypigeonforge.com.
Spring is in the air, and the team at Ragsdale wants you to be ready for the hot days ahead. It's Ashley Frasca. You know, right now, you can take up to $1,700 off a brand new Carrier home comfort system. And Ragsdale backs up their work with their own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty on your new system. 0 repair costs for the next 15 years. If your system just needs a pre-summer tune-up, that's no problem for Ragsdale, offering a $79 AC tune-up. You can't beat that for peace of mind. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust for heating, air, plumbing, electrical, and insulation needs. I say my friends at Ragsdale because they really are. My family's trusted their knowledgeable technicians for years, whether it's been for a new furnace, plumbing problems, installing new electrical outlets, or adding blown-in insulation. They're always on time and work with my busy schedule. And hey, they just surpassed 10,000 reviews with a 4.9 Google rating. Get to know them at ragsdaleair.com or give them a call. Ragsdale, the name I know you can trust.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic,
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Jed Hickenbotham. News this half hour brought to you by Beaver Toyota of Cumming. Our top story, getting the latest plans on what to expect from the Vatican following the death of Pope Francis this week. Roman Catholic cardinals meeting today to decide the specifics of his funeral.
Usually the funeral is between 4 and 6 days after death. So we would expect during this period of mourning, there's a 9-day period of mourning. Over the weekend, we predict that his funeral will take place.
Correspondent James Longman says Francis will be the first pope in more than a century to be buried outside of Vatican City. He's chosen to be laid to rest at the Basilica of St. Mary Major in Rome. For local mourners looking to pay respects, by the way, a special service will be held Thursday night at the Cathedral of Christ the King here in Atlanta. It is 69 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says chance of rain continues throughout today. Gets higher later this afternoon for many of us. The high sticks in the upper 70s today. More showers possible tonight. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. The Anti-Defamation League releases its annual report showing a concerning rise in 2 types of anti-Semitic incidents here in Georgia.
Georgia saw a major increase in incidents on college campuses last year with 55 overall, more than double the year prior. Vandalism also saw a big jump. The league's Sarah Sass says overall incidents were down in the Peach State, unlike the rest of the country.
In 2024, we recorded 9,354 anti-Semitic incidents in the United States. This was the highest year on record since we started doing this research almost 50 years ago.
There's been a nearly 900% increase over the past decade. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Boy, a warning for local dog owners. New data shows Georgia is one of the states with the highest reported cases of canine parvovirus outbreaks. Dr. Chris George says the potentially deadly illness spreads quickly.
Highly contagious. It lives in the soil for potentially a year or even longer. And that's where we can see that spread, especially in more communal areas like dog parks, doggy daycares, shelters, those sorts of settings.
He says parvo affects more than 330,000 dogs every year. He says make sure your pets are up to date with their vaccines. President Trump meets with officials with Atlanta-based Home Depot and other major retailers at the White House as business executives seek relief from sweeping tariffs.
Sources tell Bloomberg that along with Home Depot, the meeting included representatives from Walmart, Lowe's, and Target. A spokeswoman for Home Depot said the company looked forward to continuing constructive dialogue with the White House. Lowe's did not respond to requests for comment, but Walmart and Target both called the meeting productive. The discussion came amid a 90-day pause in Trump's higher tariffs on trading partners, except China. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
Meanwhile, worries about those tariffs, along with a recent warning about duties from the Federal Reserve Chair and President Trump's choice words about Jerome Powell, sent stocks on a roller coaster ride last week. Monday, a rough one for Wall Street. Checking stocks this morning, though, as the bell rings. Boy, what a difference a day makes. Stocks way up this morning. The Dow, S&P, NASDAQ all up over 1% so far this morning. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Start at the WSB 24-hour traffic center and Mike Shields.
And Judd, all lanes remain blocked in Brazelton, I-85 northbound at Highway 53, exit 129 due to a tractor-trailer fire cleanup. You can use Highway 124 to avoid the delays, so start back before Highway 211. And police activity in Henry County, 75 southbound at Jodeco Road, exit 222. That's in 2 left lanes. A lot of activity there, and that has you on and off the brakes already well back before Hudson Bridge Road, exit 224. Over 2 miles of delays already. Use Highway 42 or 1941 as alternates. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and a few thunderstorms passing through. High 78, lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow, cloudy with off and on rain showers, high near 80. Cloudy skies with scattered storms on Thursday, high 79.
It is 68 degrees right now in Vinings, 69 in Loganville, 69 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10, breaking news when it happens. I'm Jed Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Sad news for Catholics around the world.
Pope Francis, the news has broken within the last hour.
Pope Francis, the first Latin American pope, passes at 88.
First Jesuit pope said he wanted a poorer church, one that would include the excluded.
For up-to-the-minute coverage of the Pope's passing.
This was the sound at the Vatican.
And what comes next. Stay with 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
They're going to see some mourning, they're going to see some gratitude, they're going to see some hope, and then they're going to see people say,
Cardinal Timothy Dolan previewing what we're going to see in Rome over the next few days. We'll update the passing of Pope Francis in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
Critical Link from Southern Link. We're more than a mission-critical LTE network. Together, we're a network of people that has you covered. Public sector grade push-to-talk, LTE voice, mobile data. Critical Link, reliability in action. Call 866-450-LINC for Southern Link products and deals. Or visit Highfly Technologies in Atlanta or NextLink in Duluth. Go to southernlink.com to find a dealer near you.
Hey, Mark Aram here for my bug and critter company, Breda Pest Management. I can't tell you how much I love these folks. Protecting the Aram household inside and out, friendly customer service. They get the job done right, and it's guaranteed. Pests, not a problem at the Aram household anymore because Breda is better at beating bugs. Just ask my wife. And you know what? They do it right, protecting the outside and inside of your home. If your current company, by the way, claims to protect your home from pests, shouldn't that include your actual home and not just your yard? It's the bugs inside your house that you want gone. And inside your home is where your current company doesn't go anymore. So if your pest control company is doing less and charging more, you need Breda Pest Management to protect the outside and inside of your home. Breda, they handle bugs and critters.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Guys, if you're having ED or performance issues and Viagra and Cialis haven't worked, you need to come see Choice Men's Health. Give us a call or visit us online at choicemenshealth.com. Get your love life back and choose Choice Men's Health.
JIC, Flat Face Seal, BSP, and DEN. If you know what these are, then listen up.
I'm Victoria Holloway. We can replicate hose assembly on site with Mobile Hydraulics of Georgia.
Call 770-HYD-HOSE or try our website, HYDHOSE.com.
To clean up the air and earth and water in the few years science says is left to us means personal involvement and may mean personal sacrifice, the likes of which Americans have never been asked to make.
That was Walter Cronkite 55 years ago today. That was the first Earth Day. Today's Earth Day. Happy Earth Day, friends. It's 55 years old. I don't even remember it being a thing until like 20 years ago, but apparently it's been around for 55 years. Welcome back to the show. Coming up at around 10:18. I'm going to give you another chance to win $1,000 in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. We gave away $1,000 yesterday. We'll give another $1,000 today, again in the next hour. And then at 11:35, Deborah's got tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett. All right, Deborah. Speaking of Deborah, the most devout Catholic I have ever known. And I grew up in a town full of Catholics. You are far and above. Even though Longoria gave up Whataburger for Lent, you are still more devout than the Stoic one. All right, so I'm checking flights on the Delta app. Trying to see if we can get Deborah to Rome for the Pope's funeral on Saturday. So I'm looking Thursday, flying out Thursday, coming back Monday. Because the Friday flights get you into Rome too early, and I want you to have time to get in there. The cheapest nonstop from Atlanta to Rome is $3,039. That's just, coach. Now, if I was Erickson, I could send you on Delta One. That's $14,000. But that's not going to. But I can also combine cash and miles. So if I do, I don't know how many miles I have. Let's see. If I can send you round trip using all my miles. The app is updating. All my miles and $75.
Ooh.
That actually might be doable. Now the problem is I want this is a work trip, right? So the flight leaves Thursday at 4:15 p.m. So you can work Thursday morning, and then it lands at 7:35 a.m. on Friday. I guess that's Rome time, right?
Yeah.
So you'd land in time to, give us a quick phone call or something from.
Yeah, I think there's 7 hours ahead.
Yeah. So, that could work. Now, I got to clear with Maya that I'm going to blow all my miles on sending Deborah Green.
I know you guys are planning your trip to Japan.
Exactly.
So I don't know how she'll feel about that.
But
I also don't have a place to stay there. I do not get to stay in the seminary inside of Vatican City.
We can get you what's the nun's outfit? A habit? A nun's habit? Is that what they call the?
Yes.
You could just sneak in with the rest. No, that's probably
sacrilegious.
I
don't know that God would like that.
Yeah, that's probably sacrilegious. But that's not bad. If I can do my miles, is there a bereavement fare? Can we say Deborah's bereaving for the Pope, and Delta will hook us up with a bereavement fare?
A lot of airlines get rid of that.
I don't know, to be honest. I've never tried to do that. George Costanza taught me you need a death certificate, so I've never tried it. All right, but there are a ton of flights still available on Thursday from Atlanta to Rome. There's a 4:15, a 7:35 p.m., a 12:15, a 1 p.m. There's a ton of flights. Wow.
Sure, there's some hostels over there she could stay in.
Yeah, I mean, all right. We'll talk off the air about that. I gotta text Maya and see if she's okay. or maybe Ken's listening and we can get write this off as a business expense and send Deborah for our cover. It would be great to have someone there for the funeral, and I know you would absolutely enjoy it. So I'll keep you posted on that, Deborah. By the way, I asked the father who he thinks the next pope might be, and apparently you can bet on it. I mean, you can bet on anything these days, but now the poly market is taking bets on who the next pope might be.
Pope Francis just passed away a day ago, but the gaming site Polymarket is already taking bets on who will be the next leader of the Catholic Church. Right now, Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin is currently a favorite, with Filipino Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle in second place. So far, $3 million in bets have been made.
That's crazy. $3 million. I mean, I like a fun bet, but I don't know. I think that's also sacrilegious, betting on who's going to be the next pope. It's going to be interesting though, because as Father Tayon told us, Pope Francis broadened the tent of the Catholic Church. Anyway, any additional details on the passing of the Pope and the funeral plans, we'll pass them along to you live here on 95.5 WSB. In the meantime, joining us live from CBS News, tech contributor Ian Sherr. Ian, good morning, my friend. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm okay, because I don't have teens that are on social media, but I know a lot of listeners do. What's the deal with Instagram using AI to force safety features on the accounts of teenagers? Tell us about this story.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. So Facebook says that they have basically learned what are the indicators of a teenager using Facebook. Right. And it's interesting because, there are indicators, we've learned this a little bit from Law and Order and CSI, of kind of different personality types and the way that people behave. We know that the way things people can hear are different as they get older. So there is some logic to the idea that an AI could identify someone who's basically lying about their age and saying, oh, I'm 47, but they're actually 13.
Oh, okay.
What's interesting is that now Facebook says it's good enough that they're able to actually identify these people and then act on it, right? Force them into protected status in their account, keep them from seeing more violent stuff, or even also protecting them from people messaging them that they don't know, which is something that if you're a normal person on Instagram, you do sometimes have to deal with. So that is part of the idea here, but the background is important, right? Facebook is under extreme pressure from the U.S. government over antitrust concerns. And so part of this is that this announcement is happening at a time when there is this whole conversation happening about, should Facebook even own Instagram?
Yeah.
And now they're saying, oh, by the way, we built this amazing AI that does this stuff that we've been criticized over for years. It's just, the timing is very interesting.
So just for clarification purposes, this new security measure, AI-enabled security measure, would prevent deplorables, degenerates from pretending, a 47-year-old dude from pretending to be a 14-year-old teenage girl. That's what this security status will do?
It's the other way around, that a lot of people tend to be who are younger, right, and want to be able to use social media if they're not allowed to. They'll lie about their age. So one of my cousins, for example, has always been 10 years older than they actually are on Facebook because they lied to be able to get an account back before they were of the age that they were allowed to. And so what Facebook is trying to effectively do is identify those people and then, and say, look, if you are a person who is actually younger, we're going to protect your account. Now, they do have systems to identify deplorables and the other way around as well, but that's kind of a separate issue, and also, honestly, a lot harder, because identifying people who are acting in bad faith on the internet, as we have all learned over the last couple of decades, is really hard,
Yeah.
right? And some people say, "Oh, I'm just joking," when they actually meant something serious.
So it's kind of like me in 1991 wanting to be older and going to get a fake ID so I can get into the nightcap in Poughkeepsie, New York. It's teens that want that unfettered Instagram account, the adult account that will allow them to be public and get messages and send messages.
Yes, exactly. And what's of course part of the struggle here is that we're all worried about the impact that social media is having on young people. I think that that's something everyone across everything can agree on. The question is what to do about it. And as we've seen, for example, with political speech, right, it's been very easy to identify terrorism content or stuff that is, child exploitation imagery, right? All of that computers can identify very easily and take down very quickly. But when it comes to stuff like hate speech, suddenly we've learned that entire swaths of this country say, well, wait a minute, that's my political speech. I should be able to say that, and you shouldn't be labeling that as hate speech. So I wonder sometimes whether or not this AI is going to be able to do as well as Facebook says. Again, they haven't shown us the actual way that it works. They've just announced this. But if it is able to do what it says, that's amazing. Oftentimes, though, it's not always the case.
Ian Sherr, senior tech contributor from CBS News. I just gave you a promotion. You didn't even know it.
I appreciate that.
What age does Meta consider to be an adult where you get that adult account?
Well, you see, that is also interesting. It used to be 13 was the difference between having a Facebook account and not. And that part of the reason was because of child data laws, right? There were actually laws on the books that protect children from having their data collected by advertisers and stuff like that. And so 13 was where that cutoff was for the longest time. Now, Facebook and Instagram have started separating out people who are 16, people who are 18, and stuff like that. And so they're actually trying to essentially be able to understand, okay, when you're different levels of a teenager, you are a different person. And, some of us can debate whether or not 18-year-olds are really adults. They are enough to vote, and they are enough to be drafted if we ever have a draft. So in theory, they should be able to use social media as an adult. But that is part of the conversation that is constantly evolving online.
Final quick question, and I know you're a tech expert, not a legal person, but I know you've been probably following the hearings involving Meta. Any idea which way the winds are blowing and what the government's going to do?
Well, it's going to be really fascinating. As I mentioned, right, Mark Zuckerberg, the co-founder of Facebook and the CEO of Meta right now, he has been on the stand. He's had to defend his company. And if you look, just in the same week, Google was announced to be a monopoly by a different judge for the second time in 12 months. And, both its advertising and its search functions have now been found to be breaking antitrust laws. So you can feel the wind a little bit already, but it's going to be very interesting to see whether Facebook, in this case, if the judge says, you know what, you should not have been allowed to buy Instagram, you should not have been allowed to buy WhatsApp, and now we're going to separate those companies away from Facebook. That would be huge.
Big times in the tech industry. Senior tech contributor from CBS News, our buddy Ian Sherr. Ian, as always, buddy, appreciate your time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know how you parents are doing it. Bless your heart, Longoria, getting your daughters on social media. I do not envy you, my friend. All right, coming up next, we're getting final numbers of the number of birds that were killed, chickens specifically, during the bird flu and how it's impacting egg prices. But first, we got a big jam out Brazelton way. Live with the latest. Here's Mike Shields.
Yeah, this has been working out for a little over 2 hours, Mark. 85 northbound right at Highway 53, where a crash occurred involving a tractor-trailer, and that tractor-trailer caught on fire. The cleanup's been underway since, and all lanes remain blocked. Do not go past Hamilton Mill Road and get stuck in that backup. Use Highway 124 as an alternate, and heavy police activity in Henry County on I-75 southbound at Jodeco Road, exit 222. That blocks 2 left lanes and just jammed all the way back to 675. Highway 42 or 1941 are great alternates. The support is brought to you by VyStar Credit Union. No matter where life takes you, VyStar Credit Union is there with banking for every moment, big and small. They give back to the greater Atlanta area because they truly care. VyStar Credit Union, do good, bank better. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
Coming up Wednesday on Atlanta's Morning News, our exclusive 5-day forecast takes you through the rest of the work week. YouTube turns 20 years old, and why Clark Howard says he is not worried about driverless taxis coming to town on WSB.
Light and bright interior spaces are a top trend in home design.
It's Ted and Jonathan from North Georgia Replacement Windows. You can paint all the white you want, but it won't brighten your home more than natural light. Let the light in.
Brighten your home with more daylight and bigger views with Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows.
Your detailed window installation will be quick, clean, and hassle-free.
Window and door shopping made simple.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
We were ready to sell, but I got so overwhelmed with everything that needed to be done. Accepting the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate shortened my to-do list.
Hi, this is Mark Spain. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free and receive the strongest cash offer in the industry. With our guaranteed offer, there are no showings, no open houses, and no stress.
And the value of getting all of my time back that I would have spent on home repairs, priceless.
Go to markspain.com to receive a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
Certain restrictions apply.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Beaver Direct certified, providing the highest quality vehicles at the very best prices. Every vehicle undergoes rigorous reconditioning with the industry-leading 12-month, 12,000-mile certified warranty. Visit us at beavertoyotacumming.com and see why everyone loves Beaver Direct.
Is your heating and cooling system so old you can't remember when it was installed? If so, it's time to get protection from Reliable Heating and Air. Hey, friends, it's Mark Aram. Check this out. Let Reliable Heating and Air protect your AC from breakdowns and your budget. Just $14.99 a month. They're licensed, bonded, and insured. No deductibles, no claims or paperwork, no service fees, just coverage for your aging AC and heating systems. Get all the information you need online at reliableair.com.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, USDA Choice Bone-In Ribeye Roast is on sale for only $8.97 a pound with your digital coupon. Limit 2. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hi, it's Tim Andrews for My Roofer FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you'll be able to get it in the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
Let's see, if something costs less, a lot less, but people are actually happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard joining MediShare can save you or your family up to $500 a month, and that's huge, but it's also true. People are just happier with it. They love being part of something that reflects and promotes their values and what they believe in. MediShare works, too. It's been around for 30 years now, and members have shared more than $7 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network, so yeah, really, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care, whether you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan that you're happy with. Here you go. You can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. It's 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
We had received information that there were guns, perhaps in the crowd, perhaps in the house. It was unclear, but that the safety of all involved was paramount.
You heard that 25 years ago today on WSB Radio. Ready to feel really old, folks? 25 years ago today, federal agents made a pre-dawn raid on the Miami home where Elian Gonzalez had been staying with relatives. Do you remember that crazy story? His dad was in Cuba. His mom died in the shipwreck. That was Attorney General Janet Reno talking about Elian Gonzalez. I think, Deborah, he went into politics in Cuba, right? He came back to Cuba a hero and was embraced by Fidel Castro, and I think he became like a politician. to whatever degree you can be a politician in Cuba. But that was 25 years ago. Elian Gonzalez story. That is crazy. All right, I talked to, before the break about we're getting some new numbers when it concerns the bird flu and how many chickens passed away as a result.
We heard reports of less bird flu, but that might not be entirely true. The bird flu has resulted in the culling of more than 30 million birds across 9 states this year. That's 10 million more than the last quarter of 2024. The Department of Agriculture has confirmed 41 outbreaks in flocks in Arizona, California, Iowa, Indiana, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and Washington. The loss of egg-laying hens meant an egg shortage with skyrocketing prices. Those prices are dropping, but we likely won't see any real relief until the summer.
Yeah, the egg prices are dropping, but they're still. Maya was shopping on Saturday because the stores were closed on Sunday, and she was looking at the egg prices, and they've come down, but they're still double what they used to be. Whatever, like grade A eggs are $5 for a dozen. They used to be $2.50 for a dozen. That's a big number. 30 million birds dead. 30 million chickens. How many chickens are in the United States of America? 1 billion? Or Blue, run some numbers on me. Put Blue to work. Let's Prices Right this, Deborah. How many chickens do you think are in the United States of America? I'm saying 1 billion.
I'm going to say 1.4.
1.4 billion. Longo, are you going to undercut us and go 1?
Yeah, I'm doing 1. I'm doing 1. 1 billion even.
All right, but I saw a stat that chicken is the most consumed protein on the globe, which makes sense, I guess, because of the quick gestation period. And I mean, they're amazing. Just eggs and chicken legs and chicken. All right, so Lou's gonna find out who wins, whether it's Longoria, Deborah, or myself. I've got a short window there. I can only get between 1 million and 1.39 billion, rather. 1 billion and 1.39. Anything over that, Deborah's got it. Anything under that, Longoria's got it. We'll find out. The winner will get a pair of tickets to Billy Idol and Joan Jett, May 9th. No, that's for the listeners. We'll be giving those away for the listeners. All right, news, weather, and traffic in 3 minutes. When we come back, we're going to go to D.C. Another Signal app controversy, putting the defense secretary in the crosshairs. We're going to check in with White House correspondent John Decker on that story. And then at 10:18-ish, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz. Your chance to win $1,000 just about 20 minutes away right here on 95.5 WSB. Social medias are up and popping at Mark Arum, MarkArum, and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed the deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations, my deck experts. What makes them my experts? Well, for starters, when you have Ben Hill Renovations upgrading your outdoor living space, you're dealing with professionals. You have a company building to code, current and future. You have a company pulling permits when needed, with a dedicated project manager for every job, superior craftsmanship from over 60-plus years of experience, and all backed by their workmanship warranty. Whether you want a screened-in porch, an outdoor living area, a multi-story wraparound deck, or just a simple deck with a set of stairs, Ben Hill Renovations has you covered. Plus, they offer multiple financing options, up to 18 months, no interest with affordable monthly payments. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com and set up an appointment, or visit their showroom and speak with a designer. You won't be disappointed. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. This just into the WSB newsroom. A missing baby is found days after disappearing, along with her teenage mother in DeKalb County. The DeKalb County Police Department telling us the 1-year-old girl is home and safe this morning. The girl's mother, 16-year-old Nyla, was last seen Saturday morning on Wesley Drive. Police say she's 5'7", weighs about 170 pounds. You can see a picture of her on our website, WSBradio.com. Anybody with information on her whereabouts is being asked to call the DeKalb County Police Department. Your weather for today, cloudy skies, some scattered rain showers throughout the day, and maybe even a thunder rumble here or there, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Afternoon highs around 78. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. Correspondent Jim Crusula reporting this morning a major university issuing a warning to its international students.
Duke University has sent out a notice advising its international students not to travel outside the U.S. over the summer break. The university says the advice applies to legal permanent residents and green card holders. Duke says students who must travel internationally should talk to the school's visa services liaison or contact an immigration lawyer.
He says over 900 students from nearly 130 colleges and universities have had their visas revoked in recent weeks by the Trump administration. Uber is launching a new airport shuttle service to and from downtown and midtown Atlanta in May. The shuttles will run every 30 minutes from 6 a.m. until 10 p.m., although the company is not yet saying where the specific pickup locations will be. Shuttles will include 14 passenger vehicles, and passengers will be able to reserve a spot up to a week ahead of time on the Uber app. Rates are fixed based on the route, and Uber plans to offer a promo price of $10 one way for the first month. Pope Francis' body is lying in state at a private chapel at the Vatican. It comes as public viewing begins tomorrow at St. Peter's Basilica. There, the faithful can pay their respects to the late pontiff who died Monday at the age of 88. The Vatican announced that Francis' funeral will be held on Saturday, and President Trump will be attending the funeral. The president making that announcement on Truth Social. President Trump saying that he and the First Lady are looking forward to being there. Catholic cardinals from around the world are headed to the Vatican, where they will pick the next pope. Many were appointed by Pope Francis, but experts say it's not a slam dunk that they'll select someone similar.
They really try to avoid thinking of it in terms of like you're climbing up the corporate ladder. They really, I think, try to do a sort of discernment about what are the needs of the church.
And Jason King heads the Center for Catholic Studies at San Antonio's St. Mary's University. He says the process is not as political as some might make it out to be. He says they'll select the best candidate regardless of seniority, he says, and it won't be quick. It will likely take weeks. The Trump administration announcing it will start collecting next month on student loans that are in default. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says that could start garnishing wages.
This is something that people who owe money need to pay attention to. Also, all of the people in default, we are now seeing reporting to credit agencies. We haven't seen that before.
Wow.
So we now know that credit scores are dropping for these borrowers by somewhere around 130 points.
Let's take a look at the markets. We're in the green this morning. The Dow's up 583 at 38,753. So the Dow's up more than 1.5%. NASDAQ's up almost 2%. And the S&P's up more than 1.5%. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather brought to you by TE Certified Electrical Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Here's Ashley Frasca with a look at your roads.
Good morning, Sabrina. A truck crash and truck fire occurred just before 8 o'clock this morning, and that cleanup process is ongoing in Brazelton, 85 northbound before Highway 53. Just moments ago, they finally opened a left lane from what had been a red alert. All lanes were blocked. Left lane open, though miles of delays continue using Highway 124 through the Brazelton area. And down on the south side, picking up the cones from the two left lanes, a crash clearing 75 south near Jotico. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina
upwards. Cloudy skies today with off and on rain showers. A few rumbles of thunder possible. High 78. Lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with scattered rain showers. High near 80. Mostly cloudy with a few showers and storms on Thursday. Highs in the upper 70s.
It is 67 degrees in Johns Creek, 66 in Canton, Midtown Atlanta. We have 69 degrees. More news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Tuesday morning to you. Mark Arum here, you there. It's 10:04, 4 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole gang with us today. Deborah, the executive producer. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Your boy Blue screens them calls. Coming up in under 15 minutes, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus blitz. A chance for you to win $1,000 here, courtesy of 95.5 WSB. 11:05, true crime fans, you are not going to want to miss this. Gilbert King from the Bone Valley Podcast, one of the biggest true crime podcasts around. He is going to join us live at 11:35. Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Billy Idol, Joan Jett, May 9th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Before we go to D.C., Blue, do you have an update on our Price is Right, how many chickens in the United States contest? I said 1 billion. Deborah said 1.4, and Longoria gamed us and said 1 chicken in the United States. How many chickens do we have in the United States of America, Blue?
Your highest guess was still off by a factor. It's about 10 billion.
10 billion chickens. Wow. Yeah. All right. So Deborah wins, though. She might win a trip to Rome to see Pope Francis. Waiting to hear back from the boss and my wife to see if we can make that happen. By the way, if you're watching the show live on the video stream, either on YouTube or WSBradio.com, you might notice I'm wearing a new Braves hat. I went to the Braves game on Sunday with Maya at Truist Park. Had a great time on the Easter Sunday game. And I went, as we were leaving, Maya's like, oh, there's no line in the Clubhouse store. Let's check it out. And because when we first walked in, there was like 100 people lining up to get to the Clubhouse store. It's always like that. And I was predisposed to not go to Clubhouse stores at ballparks. And I'm like, oh, everything's going to be overpriced in there. So I've never been to the Clubhouse store in Truist Park because the line's always long, and I just had this notion that everything's too expensive. I walked in there, and this is what I heard. As a baseball hat wearing guy, I mean, I'm always wearing a baseball hat unless I'm in church or synagogue or Houston's where they won't let you wear a hat. That's don't get me started on that. They have, Deborah, this huge wall of every type of Braves hat you can imagine.
Are you going to collect them all now?
I wanted to, and they were reasonably priced. There was not, I expected, it's like buying stuff at the airport. You think it's going to be expensive, but they were all normal priced. So I bought 2 new Braves hats. I'm wearing one now. I bought Maya 2 Braves hats. I'm going to go back there and probably get like 12. It was, any type of Braves hat you can imagine they had. I was blown away by that. I want to play the audio again because I love the audio so much. I heard the Angels when I walked into the Clubhouse store. It was phenomenal. So I got 1 Braves hat new today. I'll wear the second one tomorrow. Again, you can watch the show live on YouTube and on WSBradio.com, the live video stream. All right, enough messing around. Let's go up to D.C. Joining us, White House correspondent John Decker. John, good morning, my friend. Another Signal app controversy involving Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. We're familiar with the first one. Get us caught up to date on this second Signal app controversy.
Well, this is a conversation that Pete Hegseth had on Signal on a private phone, and he was detailing very sensitive information about an impending attack on Houthi rebels in Yemen. Unlike the first conversation, which was well publicized, that included the invitation of a journalist, this second conversation occurred on Pete Hegseth's private phone, also on Signal, but it also included his wife for some reason. It has not been denied by the Pentagon. This story, which first appeared in the New York Times, what Pete Hegseth has done, however, is attack the individuals that provided sourcing for this story. And for whatever reason, he referred to the individuals that reported the story as hoaxsters. That was the word he used, but I don't know what the actual hoax actually consists of.
It's one thing to hear what the defense secretary has to say in his defense, but I think it's most important what the president is going to say about this second Signal app controversy. Have we heard from President Trump yet?
We have. We actually have heard from both Pete Hegseth, as mentioned, that hoaxer comment, and also from President Trump. They both spoke yesterday on the South Lawn during the Easter egg roll, and they both approached reporters and gave their versions. But the president continuing to back his choice to lead the Pentagon, Pete Hegseth, and the White House press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, also indicated that Pete Hegseth has President Trump's full support and confidence. So unless there's another element to the story, I think that, despite this embarrassing element to the story coming out this past week, I think that Pete Hegseth appears to be safe in his position. And by the way, that's at odds with some reporting from NPR that I can't back up, and that is that the White House is looking for a replacement for Pete Hegseth.
White House correspondent John Decker joining us on the Mark Arum Show. We heard from a Republican congressman out of Nebraska, Don Bacon, weighing in on the second. Don Bacon, the second Signal app controversy. He had some harsh words for the defense secretary.
He does. He doesn't believe that he should continue to be the person heading up the Department of Defense. If you look at Don Bacon's background, it's a military background. He retired after reaching, I believe, attaining the rank of general in the reserves. So, he's someone very much familiar with the rules that apply to members of the military as it relates to sharing sensitive information. And the word that he used to describe Pete Hegseth, this is his word, is amateur. And that is not a word that you want to use to describe your defense secretary if you're President Trump. But that's just one Republican. He's the only Republican out there calling for Pete Hegseth to step down as defense secretary.
I think two things in Hegseth's favor right now are the fact that, President Trump spent a large amount of political capital getting him confirmed to the post.
He did.
And secondly, I know President Trump regrets in his first term bumping Michael Flynn, General Flynn, out at the first sign of controversy. So I would imagine the president is kind of dug in on this situation, unless maybe a third strike comes against the defense secretary.
Well, that's right. If there's another shoe to drop, then perhaps the president says, enough's enough. But I don't think that this particular story would be the one that forces Pete Hegseth out, again, despite what that reporting that's appeared on an NPR says. All of that being said, the president, I remember when the first controversy broke, the president said, and I was in the room when he said it, in the cabinet room, he said that members of his national security team should not be using an unsecured app such as Signal to communicate very sensitive and in some cases top secret information.
Final quick question for you, John. Anything big on the White House calendar today we should be looking out for?
The president's going to sign some executive orders late in the afternoon. I don't have a readout in terms of what those conversations or those executive orders concern. But, as you know, every day is one in which at any moment we could see the president put something out on social media like yesterday in which he went after the Federal Reserve Chairman once again.
Indeed. And we'll, of course, monitor the markets throughout the day here. John Decker, as always, appreciate your time, sir.
Great. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
All right. And updating the markets, everything in the green right now. Dow's up 660 points. NASDAQ's up 332. S&P up 90. So all in the green. So good news there. Back to the Pete Hegseth situation. I can understand why there are rumors that the president's team looking for someone to replace Hegseth. I mean, the second time he stubbed his toe on the Signal app. But the more I think about the story, the safer I think Pete Hegseth is for now, for a number of reasons. President Trump doesn't want to give a victory to his opponents and admit that he made a mistake in nominating Pete Hegseth. And as I mentioned to John Decker, the amount of political capital, if you go back, it was very dubious that Pete Hegseth was going to get confirmed by the Senate. President Trump exhausted a ton of political capital to get him over the finish line with the lack of experience, with the drinking claim. I mean, there was a number of stuff that Pete Hegseth had to bob and weave through the confirmation process. President Trump spent an enormous amount of political capital. I don't think he wants to waste that. And as I also mentioned to John, the Michael Flynn story. like President Trump has said one of his biggest regrets of his first term was getting rid of General Flynn so early on in the administration. So I would say Hegseth is safe for now, but dude better button up and fly right. I know he was ill. It's not his fault. He was not qualified for this job. He might have been an amazing soldier, but that doesn't qualify you for running the Department of Defense, being defense secretary. Rambo was a hell of a soldier by all accounts, right? I haven't seen those movies in a long time. No one would nominate Rambo to be a defense secretary. So I actually don't even blame Hegseth. He was, ill-equipped for this job, and he's learning on the job. Hopefully now he'll finally learn his lesson and be like, dude, stop with the Signal app. Don't include your wife and your brother on these conversations. Related to the Signal app, Pete Hegseth, of course, relieved 3 senior members of the DOD from their duties because of alleged leaking allegations. One of them was Dan Caldwell, and he was on the Tucker Carlson show. Blue, where is the Tucker Carlson show these days, by the way?
I'm pretty sure it's only on YouTube.
It's
and
on
Rumble,
YouTube?
maybe.
Okay, all right. So Blue pulled some audio. This is former DOD Dan Caldwell, former DOD employee. He was relieved of his duties because of the leaking allegations. Let's hear what he had to say to Tucker Carlson.
As you said, I have a public profile. I took some what shouldn't be controversial positions, but are. And I was out there, advancing things that a lot of people in the foreign policy establishment didn't want. Doesn't justify what's happening to me, but let's just be honest, that is the nature of the games played in D.C.
So Caldwell, they're saying he was pushed out for rejecting establishment positions, and those are just the games they play in D.C. More from Caldwell on Carson, a little back and forth here between the two.
So I just want to be totally direct with you. Did you leak classified information against the wishes of your superiors to media outlets?
Absolutely not.
Did you photograph classified material and then text pictures of that material to an NBC News reporter?
Absolutely not, and I have not spoken to an NBC reporter while at the Pentagon.
Do you know what you've been accused of?
No, I don't. Sitting here right now, myself and Darren Selnick and Colin Carroll, the other 2 individuals that were escorted out of the Pentagon, initially placed on leave and then fired on Friday, we have not been told as of this recording, 1, is there what we were being investigated for? 2, is there still an investigation? And 3, was there even a real investigation? Because there's a lot of evidence that there is not a real investigation.
So there, Caldwell denying that he was a leaker at all and questioning whether or not there was actual investigation or not. Finally, this again, Caldwell with Tucker Carlson on his YouTube show about the things that he has in common with the other folks that were ousted for their alleged misdeeds.
The one thing we had in common, there was a couple things we had in common, was we were threatening a lot of established interests in our own separate ways. And we had people who had personal vendettas against us.
Yes,
I think they weaponized the investigation against us. I think that's part of what's going on here. But look, Colin, and let me just say, Steve Feinberg, I didn't know him before this. I have a lot of respect for him.
I do too.
I think he's going to be a fantastic deputy secretary. Steve Feinberg and Colin were going to shake up how acquisitions are done, how the budgeting is done, how we do science and research. And Colin's got one speed, and that's go. And he wasn't afraid to challenge people when they're acting stupid and wanted to keep doing the same thing. Darren's the same way.
Interesting stuff there. So that's Dan Caldwell lost his job at the DOD over alleged leaking allegations appearing on the Tucker Carlson show. Bad news. The International Monetary Fund has downgraded its global growth forecast. Big implications on that. We'll check on that after a quick break. But before I gave you the bad news there with the International Monetary Fund, how about some good news? A chance for you to win $1,000 right now. That's right. It's the 5K Day Bonus Blitz, friends. 10 a.m. keyword is spring, S-P-R-I-N-G, spring. Enter the keyword spring into the WSB Radio app or at WSBradio.com/cash. You have until 10:30 a.m. to enter the keyword, win $1,000. The keyword is spring. Don't forget, if you get a phone call after 10:30 a.m. from a number you don't recognize, pick it up. Could be us telling you you won $1,000. Again, the 10 a.m. keyword is spring, S-P-R-I-N-G, spring. Good luck, friends. All right, let's check the ride around town. She is the host of Green and Groaning. She is springing into traffic duty. Here's Ashley Frasca.
Thanks, Mark. We are finally shaking out some delays downtown. Over 10 minutes ago, they held all lanes to clear a crash on 7585 northbound near 17th Street from the left. Now off to the right shoulder. That's wrapping up, so things will get better as you travel up from University Avenue. And delays improving on the south side out of Stockbridge. The crash is gone. 75 south at Jodico Road. And only a left lane open up in Brazelton. Truck fire cleanup 85 north before Highway 53. Traffic brought to you by Rapid Radios. Their instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. And for a limited time, go to rapidradios.com for 60% off and free shipping. Code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Sad news for Catholics around the world.
Pope Francis has died at the age of 88.
For the latest on his passing,
we will have in-depth team coverage of the death of Pope Francis.
And what happens
next.
next.
Still waiting for the smoke to rise up, as is the tradition from the Vatican itself.
Listen throughout the day to 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
I know we just started at spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
Mom and Dad seemed different after
and event.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free.
MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
So how do we create value? This is Greg Trzynski from the Original Mattress Factory. Value comes from having complete control over our product quality. From design to manufacturing to delivery, everything is handled in-house by our trained professionals. This approach allows us to maintain strict quality standards and respond quickly to customer needs. We believe true value is created when a company takes full responsibility for its products. When you choose OMF, you're getting a mattress built with care and attention at every step. OriginalMattress.com.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage door should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
It's the active season here in the ATL. Are you going to be active or inactive because of chronic joint pain? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at QC Kinetics. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Atlanta are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. With QC Kinetics, the science solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Get out and be active this summer. Golfing, swimming, tennis. Heck, pickleball seems to be picking up speed. Get out there and be active. Don't let your chronic joint pain hold you back. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. Consultation totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call now and find out how easy it is to get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Now, the best time to get started. Call QC Kinetics now, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026 for QC Kinetics.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
In case you missed it, the 5K day bonus blitz, keyword is spring, S-P-R-I-N-G, spring. You got till 10:30 to enter that in the WSB Radio app or WSBRadio.com. I mentioned the bad news. The International Monetary Fund has downgraded its global growth forecast. Let's go up to the White House just moments ago. Kevin Liptak, any reaction from the White House?
Yeah, the message you continue to hear from the president and his top advisors is that we're in a transition period. That was the phrase that the president used yesterday as he works to reorient global trade and the global economy. Of course, the question now is for how long? As he heard from a number of retail CEOs who were at the White House just yesterday, you cannot reorient global trade overnight. Now it appears the president is looking for a scapegoat, as it appears more and more likely that the economy is headed for a downturn. He seems to have found that scapegoat in Jay Powell, the chairman of the Federal Reserve. You heard the president call him yesterday a major loser. He's also threatened in previous posts to potentially try and remove him from the job. No president before has gone so far in trying to undermine the independence of the central bank, and that alone could be furthering the this market turmoil that we're seeing today on Wall Street, potentially causing as much economic turmoil as the president's own trade war. This is something that he's been warned about by a number of his advisors, that potentially undercutting Jay Powell, undercutting the independence.
Kevin Liptak moments ago at the White House. Despite that bad news from the International Monetary Fund, the Dow is up 675 points. When we come back, we'll update our top local stories, plus my interview with Yacht Rock Review. Final reminder, the 5K day bonus blitz keyword for 10 a.m. is spring, S-P-R-I-N-G, spring. Good luck.
It's Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I've got something important to talk to you about, your 401k. If you have changed jobs, there are two very important considerations. You don't want to leave your 401k behind, and you don't want to roll it over into your new company plan without consulting Trajan Wealth first. 401ks will often have limited investments or age-based options. Since companies have to make choices to suit all employees, they may not be suited to you, which could cost you fees and money. When you roll over your 401k into an IRA, you not only keep your money growing tax deferred, but you also gain access to a world of investment options specifically designed for you. Trajan Wealth and our fiduciary advisors have helped thousands, and we can do the same for you. Call 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Storm season officially here, friends, and it wreaks havoc on your house and your roof. It's Mark Aram here. If you truly want peace of mind about your roof, and for many years to come, ask Dr. Roof about their lifetime warranty. Dr. Roof's warranty means they have your roof covered for the lifetime of your roof, and if anything comes up, Dr. Roof will take care of it. You never have to worry about a thing. They stand behind it since they've been in business for over 35 years. Now that is peace of mind. All the info online at drroof.com.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
Scott Slade here from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. Are you considering a new roof but not sure when you're going to be able to get it into the budget? FGA Roofing is offering a 000 offer this month. 0 down payment, 0 interest for 12 months, and 0 monthly payments. Search FGA Roofing for a free quote today.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It is 10:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. As the church mourns the passing of Pope Francis, the process begins for his successor. All cardinals eligible to take part in the conclave will be summoned to Rome. Father John Walk on what the cardinals will be doing.
A huge part of their day and their night during this period is going to be getting to know each other, because many of them don't know each other yet. They haven't come to Rome together before. This is an opportunity to get to know their different points of view and also the personalities. Each one of them, in theory, is a possible pope.
And the Pope's funeral will be held Saturday. President Trump and the First Lady planning to attend. Your weather for today: cloudy skies, scattered showers, and maybe some thunder today. Afternoon highs around 78, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. This is new since Atlanta's Morning News. We have an update on that missing teenage mother and her baby from DeKalb County. Word this morning that the 1-year-old has been found and is safe, but the mother is still missing. The teenage mother, 16-year-old Nyla, was last seen Saturday morning on Wesley Drive. Police say she's 5'7", weighs about 170 pounds. You can see a picture of her online, WSBradio.com. Anybody with information on where she might be being asked to contact DeKalb County Police this morning. A new report finds anti-Judaism incidents remain a major issue here in Georgia.
The report from the Anti-Defamation League shows incidents are down slightly in Georgia, but vandalism and incidents on college campuses are on the rise. There were 55 incidents at Georgia colleges last year, a big increase from 2023. It's part of a national trend.
Over the past 10 years, we've recorded an almost 900% increase.
The league's Sarah Sass says there were more than 9,300 incidents across the country last year. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Jason Carter, the grandson of former President Jimmy Carter, says he will not be running for governor here in Georgia. His wife is battling brain cancer. Later today, Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. expected to call on food manufacturers to phase out food dyes. Dr. Tara Narula.
We know that there are animal studies linking some of these dyes to cancer, and there are human studies linking some of these dyes to hyperactivity, neurologic, and behavioral issues in kids, and then some studies showing issues with inflammatory bowel disease and allergies.
The Health and Human Services Secretary expected to phase out 8 dyes in our food supply. New data shows Georgia is one of the states with the highest reported cases of canine parvovirus outbreaks. Dr. Chris George on what that is.
So canine parvovirus, or just parvo for short, is one of the most common, highly contagious, and potentially fatal viruses that we see in dogs.
He says it's highly contagious, and that's why today is National Parvo Awareness Day. It's this time of year we typically see more cases as dogs are out and about in dog parks and doggy daycare. He says make sure your pets are up to date with their vaccines and keep an eye out for any signs or symptoms of the virus. The Henry County School District breaks ground today on its first STEM high school, one that focuses on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Henry County Schools' Kyle Sears.
Just another option for our students to get engaged with STEM education, and particularly to specialize in areas that are high demand jobs in our current current world.
The school will open in the fall of 2027 and will begin with 9th and 10th graders before ramping up to a full student body of 900 students, including juniors and seniors. As we take a look at the markets, we're in the green. The Dow's up 656 at 38,826. So the Dow's up more than 1.5%. So is NASDAQ and the S&P. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca has a look at your roads.
A little crowded on the East Freeway, I-20 headed west past Panola Road, though DOT reporting that construction is in the eastbound lanes. I-20 east as you travel between Wesley Chapel and Panola. Still a little crowded on 85 south coming down from 316 out of Duluth. And the big delays continue up in Jackson County, Brazelton, 85 north. Truck fire cleanup, 2 right lanes still blocked before Highway 53, exit 129. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with off and on rain showers, a few rumbles of thunder possible, high 78, lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with scattered rain showers, high near 80. Mostly cloudy with a few showers and storms on Thursday, highs in the upper 70s.
68 degrees in Beaufort at 69 in Marietta. Powder Springs, you have 68 degrees. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
When traffic hits.
I-75 completely shut down north and south between McDonough and Locust Grove.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Brake lights fill in on 316 westbound at Sugarloaf Parkway.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Heavy police fire department activity.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Just a darn good parish priest who knows his people, who stays in touch with them.
That's Cardinal Timothy Dolan talking about Pope Francis and his passing. When we come back, we'll go back to Rome, get the latest on the funeral plans, plus my exclusive interview with Yacht Rock Review, 2 minutes away on The Mark Arum Show.
Skeeters biting you? Better call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda is proud to sponsor Scott Slade, Georgia, every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Founded by hardworking Georgians in 1992, Builders provides tailored insurance solutions to safeguard workers and business owners from costly accidents. Explore reliable workers' compensation and general liability products at BLDRS.com. Builders, insurance built strong.
I know a lot of dudes listening right now had a mullet back in the 80s. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. No embarrassment. I had one as well. But I bet there's a bunch of fellas going, as embarrassing as that mullet was, I still wish I had the hair to have a mullet. That's where my friends at Advanced Hair come in. Now, I'm not saying they're going to give you a mullet, but if you've got a receding hairline or you've got bald spots and you want to regrow your hair from the 80s, Advanced Hair is the place. Quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. If you want your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Online at advancedhair.com.
Beaver Direct Certified, providing the highest quality vehicles at the very best prices. Every vehicle undergoes rigorous reconditioning with the industry-leading 12-month, 12,000-mile certified warranty. Visit us at BeaverToyotaCumming.com and see why everyone loves Beaver Direct.
10:37 on the Mark Arum Show. 30 minutes from now, Gilbert King, host of the Bone Valley podcast, going to join us live. True crime at its finest. 11:35. Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett. We're going to go up to Rome in just a second, but updating that economic news, the downer news I shared before the break. International Monetary Fund has downgraded its global growth forecast. What exactly does that mean, Jill Schlesinger?
For this year, the IMF projects that U.S. growth will be at 1.8%. That's down by 0.9% from the January forecast. Global growth is expected to come in at 2.8%, and that's down 0.5 percentage point since January.
Bad news, but the markets are reacting positively. The Dow's up 708 points. NASDAQ's up 317. For my crypto bros, Bitcoin's up $3,000. It is up over 90,000 now per individual Bitcoin. So at least good news on the markets today. We'll monitor them throughout the day, of course, on 95.5 WSB. Top of the show, we went live to Rome, Italy, talked to ABC's Nes Della Curtera on the funeral plans for Pope Francis. Obviously, the breaking news we covered in depth yesterday. Let's go back to Rome. CNN's Ben Wiedemann.
Yes, it's going to be 10 o'clock in the morning, the funeral for Pope Francis on Saturday outside in the piazza of St. Peter's. And at the moment, as you said, his body is currently lying in state in the chapel of the Casa Santa Marta, which is the guest house of the Vatican, which was Pope Francis's residence. He lived on the second floor in a two-room suite there. Now, at 9 a.m. on Wednesday morning, there will be a brief ceremony in that chapel, and then there will be a procession through St. Peter's Square with that coffin, and it will be placed inside the basilica, where there will be a brief ceremony attended by Vatican officials and cardinals. After that, the basilica will be open to the public, and what we've seen in the past, for instance, when Pope John Paul II passed away back in 2005, we expect thousands and thousands of people to line up outside.
Thousands and thousands of people. That's Ben Wiedemann in Rome this morning for CNN. Ironically, Deborah, I just got do you have Google Photos on your phone?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, so I just got an alert. It was like 3 years ago today, I was in Rome on my honeymoon with Maya.
Oh,
yeah, like great time. And I just thought, like, people honeymoon in Rome, right? And you imagine planning your honeymoon for this week and the Pope dies? I mean, that's a dual-edged sword, because it's like, wow, you're there for this historical event, but if you can think of the crowd, I mean, Rome was crowded when we went, and the Pope was fine. Imagine what it's like with all of the worshipers coming to pay their respects. Unbelievable. How about that? 3 years ago today. I'm like, mostly food pics. Google's like, yeah, you liked food. Here's your linguine and white clam sauce. Here's the pizza. How about that? I would love to go back to Rome, Italy. And maybe we can send Deborah there. We'll find out. Again, the funeral for the pontiff is this Saturday, St. Peter's Square, 10 a.m. local time, which I think is 4 a.m. here in Atlanta. I believe I'm going to get an update from our program director, but I would imagine we're going to carry the ceremony live here on 95.5 WSB, at least up until Green and Growing starts at 6 a.m. All right, so yesterday was a cool event here at the station. All last week, we gave away tickets to see Yacht Rock Review perform in the WSB Live Lounge, and tickets to their performance on April 26th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. So yesterday, I was there for the performance, and right after, I got an opportunity to interview three of the band members. Let's play that, Longoria, from yesterday. Guys, thank you so much on behalf of everyone here at WSB Radio and 97.1 The River for that amazingly intimate performance. Give it up for Yacht Rock Review, everybody.
You're welcome.
And thanks so much for coming in early on a Monday. As rock stars, I would imagine this is a rarity to get up on a Monday morning and come to Midtown.
Just rolled out of bed wherever I found myself. Made my way here.
Well, we appreciate it.
Or I took my kids to school in the carpool line this morning. You choose which story you want to believe.
Just shattered the rock star image right there.
Rock stars still get a bad case of the Mondays.
So 07, the band formed. You guys look the same as you did 18 years ago. Literally.
Thank you.
Like you're in shape still. You look great. What's the secret to maintaining that youthful rock figure?
I can answer for Dave. He doesn't eat. He also runs like 8 miles a day.
Oh, cardio. Well, I would imagine for a sax player, cardio is probably pretty important. Yeah, that was amazing, by the way. You guys you've become iconic in Atlanta, right? You're part of the fabric of the soundtrack of the city of Atlanta. Take me back to 07, the formation of Yacht Rock Review. How did that happen?
We already thought we were iconic in Atlanta. And we just made it so. No, we were just goofing around in the basement with English Nick and a bunch of other people, just doing all sorts of different shows, trying all sorts of different things, and Yacht Rock struck a chord, literally, with people, and here we are.
Was there a plan B? Was there, if the Yacht Rock thing doesn't work out, we have another avenue to showcase our talents?
I don't know. I was in law school and I quit.
Wow. All right. The family was happy with that decision that you quit law school?
They were. Actually, my family is kind of like the opposite. When I went to law school, they were like, what are you doing? Because they're musicians and whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's remarkable. So when, I remember the early performances, when did you realize, or did you even before that, oh, this is something, like we have something here?
We're still waiting for that.
No, was there one performance when you went from 50 people in a basement you mentioned to looking out in the crowd going, oh, this is legitimately happening?
I think the first time we played Chastain Amphitheater was the moment when it was like, this, okay, we're on to something officially. Not that there weren't great moments before then, but it's kind of been, I feel like when we get this question, there's like just these milestones that kind of happen along the way, and really to like peel back and look at it after the fact. There's not one significant, but they're just, they just kind of build on each other, playing in different cities at different venues and bigger crowds, and it's
Next thing you know, you're
picking up your kids in the carpool line.
How long ago was that Chastain concert? How long are we talking?
What was
First Chastain was probably 12 or 13 or 14. I don't remember.
And were you opening for someone, or were you the feature then?
We were the headline act the first time
that's
we played.
amazing.
Yeah.
I should mention, by the way, Yacht Rock Review, Amerisbank Amphitheater, April 26th. From performing in the WSB Live Lounge to performing Amerisbank Amphitheater, logistically, vocally, musically, do you have to change things up depending on the size of the venue?
Well, we have 8 band members instead of 3. And a bunch of crew. Like the number of people it takes to create a show on the scale that we do now is completely different than when we were like all showing up 20 minutes before we started at the 10 High.
You're professionals now. You're professionals.
Suppose so.
I should mention Yacht Rock Review here on the Mark Arum Show, fresh off a great intimate performance here in the WSB Live Lounge. All the winners that won tickets last week, phenomenal. I said it last week. Like I've been doing this for almost 28 years. This was the coolest prize pack we ever gave away. Right? I mean,
thank you.
This is not only tickets to Amerisbank Amphitheater on the 26th, but this little private performance. This is like you're in the Mark Arum basement hanging out with friends. So again, kudos to you for allowing this to happen. A question that I'm dying to know, the size of your catalog. How many songs do you have at your fingertips, at the ready on the sax? Like how many songs deep can you guys go?
I would bet we could play, I don't know, 150 songs and get through them.
Right now, yeah. In the history of the band, it's probably
like 1,000.
Yeah, it's probably in the 400 range, 500 maybe. In the history
hundreds
of
of
the band.
hundreds. There's not just from the Yacht Rock catalog, but along the way we've played Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon, Led Zeppelin 4, Sgt. Pepper's.
Stop Making
Prince,
Sense.
Purple Rain, Stop Making Sense. Entitled, like almost the entire Beatles catalog. Like it's a lot of songs.
Yeah, I can only imagine just the memorization musically and lyrically to have that breadth of a catalog at your. Was there ever a song that you wanted to perform but you just couldn't nail it either musically or vocally that didn't make the set list?
It's a great question.
There were definitely some early on that we tried that just didn't work at all. Like I remember trying Maneater one time. We were trying to do it off the cuff on a cruise ship, and Steven Adler, the drummer from Guns N' Roses, was like breathing down our necks, and we just couldn't get it to feel right. And then we came back. Now it's one of our staple songs. We can crush it now, but it just takes a little maturity sometimes to figure things out.
That being said, if you were playing your last concert, last song, your final song, is there one go-to that you're like, all right, the crowd, we're going to go off to retirement on this song. The crowd loves this song the most.
I mean, it's probably
Africa or Baker Street.
Those are the ones that we have to play the most often.
Yeah.
The song that I call the brain eraser, because if we play this song, immediately everyone in the audience forgets every other song that we played, and it's More Than a Feeling by Boston.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's like we can just do all sorts of other amazing stuff, but if we play that one, that's all anybody wants to talk about.
And You Don't
It's a
Bring
great
Me
song.
Flowers Anymore by Neil Diamond, I would imagine also very, very big.
Just as iconic.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as epic.
I can't thank you enough. Nick, Peter, David, Yacht Rock Review for this amazing performance. Can't wait to see you on the 26th at Amerisbank. Give it up for Yacht Rock Review, everybody. Hopefully they're going to post the concert on the WSB Radio Facebook page because it was awesome. It was so cool. Thanks to Yacht Rock Review. All right, coming up after a quick break, President Trump met with major retailers at the White House yesterday. Walmart, Target, talking tariffs with those major retailers. Stephanie Lai from Bloomberg News going to join us live next. But first, staying local, checking the ride around town, live with the latest, Ashley Frasca.
Things looking pretty good around Metro Atlanta. Do have some brake lights in from DeKalb County along I-20 westbound, that work zone, but crews are reportedly working eastbound near Panola Road, yet westbound a little bit slow. Things getting better on the south side from earlier trouble on 75 south down at Jodico Road, and still have that jam up into Jackson County, Brazelton, truck fire cleanup in the right lanes, 85 northbound just before Highway 53. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
Online.
on the app,
Where you get your news.
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB Radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words. 5 times a day. Every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBRadio.com or on the WSB Radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
on 95.5 WSB.
Has your pest control company told you they won't be coming inside anymore and they raised their prices? Mark Aram here for my bug and critter company, Breda Pest Management. They protect the outside and inside of your home. It's the bugs inside you want gone. So if your pest company is doing less and charging more, you need Breda. Get started at BREDAPest.com.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
For many women in our community, support for our physical and mental health feels out of reach.
When your workday is long.
And your budget is tight.
And your village is busy.
And the road between home and help is a 6-lane highway with no crosswalk.
Northside Hospital believes women deserve better.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work.
We got your house call.
Heard.
Learn more at northside.com/herd.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save more with our weekly digital deals. Select boxes of Nabisco Ritz crackers are only $1.99 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
10:54 on the Mark Aram Show, continuing our coverage of the tariff and trade wars. Joining us live from Bloomberg News, Stephanie Lai. Stephanie, good morning. As always, thanks for your time.
Morning. Thanks for having me.
Major meeting at the White House yesterday. President Trump and major retailers had a sit-down. Who was at the meeting and what was discussed?
Yeah, so we never got a readout from the White House, but we are certain that major retailers, including Home Depot, Target, and Walmart, were in attendance to meet with the president. And obviously this comes after the 90-day pause that the president announced on some of the tariffs that he put out earlier this month. So clearly there is a sense of worry from a lot of retailers across the nation as to how the trade war, I guess the White House wouldn't call it one, but how the tariffs are impacting their business. When they have to do international deals, this clearly could impact their bottom line, and there's been a growing concern that this would impact what consumers end up paying.
Atlanta's own Home Depot, one of those retailers. Interesting. Do you have any idea what the retailers are asking for or hoping for from President Trump when it comes to tariff relief?
Some of our sources were telling my colleagues that there was a sense that this conversation would be directly targeting, moving forward from the tariff announcement and what that would entail. We haven't gotten any readouts from them since, so it'd be hard to say definitively what was discussed and what they were asking. But we do know that there is growing interest among industry executives to have a meeting with the president about their business in this current economy.
So major retailers yesterday at the White House, can we see other industries, whether it be the steel industry or the electronics industry or clothing, to try to get time with the president and get a sit down and try to work something out?
There's certainly a lot of rumors spreading across D.C. as to what industries might be interested and involved in setting up these meetings, but as of now, there's nothing that we can definitively say. All right,
bad news today from the International Monetary Fund downgrading the global growth forecast, but so far, Stephanie, it looks like Wall Street doesn't care. All the markets in the green so far.
Yeah, yesterday we did see a little bit of a downturn, 2.4%. The S&P ended at, of course, after Trump had threatened to, sort of kick out Powell once again yesterday and sort of voiced his displeasure. There is certainly a sense of uncertainty right now with the tariffs, with this ongoing fight with the Federal Reserve Chairman, and so. The stock market is hard to say that as a general benchmark for how the economy is doing on any given moment.
Stephanie Lai, Bloomberg News. Always great to have you on the show, Stephanie. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Bye.
We'll monitor the markets, of course, throughout the day on 95.5 WSB. Green now is good. Doesn't always means it's going to stay green. Stay gold, Pony Boy. Stay gold. When we come back after news, weather, and traffic, true crime freaks, you're going to love this next guest, Gilbert King of the Bone Valley Podcast. He joins us live next on the Mark Aram Show. Socials active throughout the broadcast, at Mark Aram and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta.
WSB FM and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
If you're in the market as a home buyer or seller, there's a lot of noise out there and a lot of options. Should you find a company to buy your home, or accept a guaranteed cash offer, or do a traditional sale? Each of these has an upside and each has a downside. Hi, I'm Deborah Morton, founder of Clario Real Estate. My team and I can offer all of these, and we help our clients sort through these choices every day. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home in the next 6 to 12 months, we can give you clarity so you can decide with confidence. My team and I are the experts. We have helped hundreds of families move and are ranked in the top 5% nationally. At Clario Real Estate, we can provide clarity on the best approach for you. Oh, and I'm also the real estate expert and host of the show Inside Georgia Real Estate, airing right here every Saturday at 1 p.m. Go to InsideGeorgiaRealEstate.com and tune in this Saturday at 1 p.m. for more. Clario Real Estate, real clarity, real certainty for the real value of your home.
Hey, it's Scott Slade with another big update from my friends at MyLend. They've got a new mortgage available to those of you who own a rental home or investment property. This loan allows you to qualify based on the cash flow of the property. And that means you don't need to provide your income or employment like a traditional mortgage. It's special programs and industry knowledge like this that keep me talking about the abilities of my friends at MyLend. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, refinance to lower your payment, or need to see how you can access the equity in your home to pay off other debts, do yourself a favor. Call my friends at MyLend. Countless 5-star reviews and testimonials from homeowners just like you. MyLend's been a top mortgage lender in Atlanta and a friend of mine for decades. Give MyLend a call today. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's mylend.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS in Georgia residential mortgage licensee 148769. Located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. MyLend is an equal housing lender.
News, weather,
Traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Dr. Roof. Pope Francis' funeral will be this Saturday at St. Peter's Basilica. Alice Barr reporting this morning that cardinals at the Vatican met today to plan for the funeral and for the conclave where a new pope will be chosen.
Pope Francis named more than 100 of the 135 cardinals who will gather to vote for the next pope over the next 2 weeks. That move to reshape the global church means the electors could be more likely to continue the path of reform, though there will be a traditionalist movement to course correct as well.
And the Pope's body lying in state in a private chapel at the Vatican. Public viewing starts tomorrow at St. Peter's Basilica. And leaders of Georgia's Catholic Church are reflecting on the life and legacy of Pope Francis.
Bishop Joel Konzen of the Atlanta Archdiocese was surprised to hear of the Pope's death. He hoped the 88-year-old was on the mend. Thinking about his time as pontiff, Konzen says he did make some changes to the church.
His main emphasis, I think, was to help us to see that it made a difference for us to be authentically Christian. In other words, it was not enough to mouth the teachings of the gospel. We had to go beyond that and actually put them into practice.
A special service is set to be held Thursday night at the Cathedral of Christ the King in Atlanta. Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
All right, so your weather for today. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says it's going to be cloudy. Some scattered rain showers are possible and a high of 78. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. A missing baby is found days after disappearing along with her teenage mother in DeKalb County. The DeKalb County Police Department says the 1-year-old girl is home and is safe. The girl's mother, though, the 16-year-old, known as Nyla, was last seen Saturday morning on Wesley Drive. Police say they are still looking for her. She's 5'7", about 170 pounds. We have a picture online. Take a look, WSBRadio.com. Anybody with information on her whereabouts being asked to call DeKalb County Police. This is new at 11 o'clock. A Cobb County man has been sentenced to life in prison plus 20 years after pleading guilty to 25 counts related to child sex charges. Investigators say 20-year-old Cooper Hamilton had secretly taken photographs of a child and then shared them on the dark web. And during the investigation, agents uncovered more than 100 videos created by Hamilton depicting repeated acts of abuse. Many of the videos found to have been recorded between 2020 and November of 2023. He did plead guilty to 25 charges of aggravated child molestation and sexual exploitation of children. Walgreens is agreeing to pay up to $350 million to resolve allegations that the pharmacy chain illegally filled millions of invalid prescriptions. The government filed a complaint in federal court claiming from August of 2012 through March of 2023, Walgreens knowingly filled millions of unlawful controlled substance prescriptions, and that did include prescriptions for excessive quantities of opioids. The complaint also accuses Walgreens of pressuring its pharmacists to go ahead and fill prescriptions quickly without taking the time needed to confirm that each prescription was legitimate. The Trump administration announcing it's going to start collecting next month on those student loans that are in default. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger says that could mean some wages could be garnished.
This is something that people who owe money need to pay attention to. Also, all of the people in default, we are now seeing reporting to credit agencies. We haven't seen that before.
Wow.
So we now know that credit scores are dropping for these borrowers by somewhere around 130 points.
Let's take a look at the markets. The Dow right now is up 803 at 38,973. So the Dow's up more than 2%. NASDAQ also up more than 2%, and so is the S&P. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams. He has a look at your roads.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Right now, watching a few trouble spots on the perimeter. Just found a new left lane crash, 285 eastbound, the inner loop, right at I-85 Spaghetti Junction, exit 33. That's starting to slow the ride between Doraville and Tucker. Speaking of Tucker, if you're heading up toward Tucker out of Clarkston, looks like we got some new trouble, 285 northbound, the outer loop past La Vista Road, exit 37. We're going to scan the WSB Jam Cam and see if we can figure out what's happening there. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. Cloudy skies with scattered rain showers and a few thunderstorms passing through. High 78, lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow, cloudy with off and on rain showers, high near 80. Cloudy skies with scattered storms on Thursday, high 79.
It is 71 degrees in Chamblee and Forest Park. Roswell, you have 68 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
11:05 on this fast-moving Newsday Tuesday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. Coming up in 30 minutes, chance for you to win tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett. And then right after that, we're going to talk to a priest en route to Rome for the papal funeral, which we found out this morning will be held Saturday morning, St. Peter's Square, 10 a.m. local time, and complete coverage on the papal funeral throughout the ceremony here on 95.5 WSB. Just got confirmation with our big bosses that we will indeed cover the funeral live of Pope Francis here on 95.5 WSB. I've got a couple of friends that are absolute true crime junkies, and they all to a person have recommended Bone Valley Podcast as the next great true crime podcast. Joining us live on the Mark Aram Show, Pulitzer Prize winning author, producer, podcaster, Gilbert King. Gilbert, good morning. Thanks for your time.
Hey, good morning, Mark. Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
I don't know if you see the demographics, but Atlanta is one of the hotspots for true crime fanatics. For some reason, Atlantans and folks in Georgia can't get enough of true crime. Tell us about the Bone Valley Podcast and what makes this such a unique, interesting story.
Well, I think the thing about this story is that you have this murder that happened in Florida in 1987. This heavy metal rock and roll guy, Leo Schofield, young 20-something-year-old kid, and his 18-year-old wife is murdered. And Leo spends years in prison, accused of this crime, always, pronounces his innocence. But all the appeals run out and everything. And then there's some fingerprints that are found in the car 17 years into Leo's sentence. And they match a killer who lived in the neighborhood. And this killer later on confesses to killing Leo's wife. And yet still, the state of Florida doesn't believe either man. They don't believe that Leo's innocent, and they don't believe that this man is actually the one responsible for the crime. And so our podcast is basically an investigation that shows that Leo's an innocent man.
Why am I not shocked that the state of Florida fumbled this? Of all the states that would fumble this what appears to be a criminal layup, an overturn of a conviction, Florida drops the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of common. You're used to a lot of those like Florida man stories. And
yes.
Things just happen differently. It's like the Wild West down there. This case to me is like just so obvious to everybody who looks into it. But the people that matter, the 10th Circuit down there, they've really dug in their heels and they just don't want to lose this conviction. So that's what we've been telling this story for about 6 years now. We have a second season that just came out, and it's a very intimate look into both of these lives, especially Jeremy, the killer. We go into his life and the people around him and how he's trying to prove his guilt in this murder, and nobody will listen to him.
Gilbert King of the Bone Valley Podcast joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. 6 years running now. How did you first become aware of this case?
It's interesting. I was doing a book talk down there at a judges convention conference, and one of the judges came up to me and handed me a card, and on the back of his business card, he wrote the name Leo Schofield, not just wrongfully convicted. He's an innocent man. And so, when a judge gives you that, tells me, like, look, they railroaded this kid. I can tell you exactly how they did it. I'm not supposed to be speaking out about this, but this one really bothers me. I just had to look into it. And the more I looked into it, the more I could see this man is totally innocent.
So how long from the judge giving you the business card to you putting together the podcast? How quickly did you say, oh, this is something worth investigating?
I tend to go really slow. So from when that judge gave me the business card, it was 5 years later when I finished the story and the investigation. It takes as long as it does with my books. But we went through the whole pandemic. That kind of slowed us down a little bit. But, we spent a lot of time, like access to everybody, the killer, the real killer, the innocent man, all the families, the witnesses, jurors, the judges. We put the whole investigation together. It took a lot of time, but I think everybody concedes it's extremely thorough.
So your background is as an author, right? A Pulitzer Prize winning author. Had you done podcasts prior to this one?
No idea what I was doing, but I knew how to investigate these stories. And I'm used to working with dead people because most of my books are stories in the 40s. So there's really no witnesses around anymore. So I'm usually dealing with documents. In this case, since everyone was like a teenager in the 1980s, they were all still around. And I recognized that they were just really good storytellers. They had strong opinions. And the more voices I collected, I just said, this has to be an audio story.
With the popularity of Bone Valley, I'm assuming, I hope I'm not assuming wrongly, that eventually I'm going to be able to watch this on Netflix or something, right? They're going to make a TV show out of this.
Yeah, they're definitely developing it right now. And so, I think that's very possible that you'll see that before long. It's just such a great story. And Leo, the wrongfully convicted man, is just such an inspiration. I think the popularity of the podcast enabled him to get out of prison last year. He was paroled. The state just kind of stopped fighting at this point. He'd spent 36 years in prison. And so he's out now, but, he wants to clear his name. He wants to be exonerated because he's, still a convicted felon in the eyes of the state.
Well, my friends that love true crime podcasts rave about this one. So that's all the endorsement I need. Where can folks check out the Bone Valley Podcast, Gilbert?
Oh, you can check it out anywhere you get the podcast. Apple, Spotify, you name it. It's everywhere to be seen. It's on the top of the charts right now, which I'm really kind of surprised by, but it just really took off. So there's a lot of people listening, but you can find it anywhere.
This might be a super obvious question, but are you going to write a book about this when you're done with the podcast?
Funny you should say that. I just wrote a book. I finished it, so it'll be out in October. There's just a lot more to explore besides what was in the podcast. With the podcast, you're sort of reliant on tape and what audio you have. In the book, I can explore some of the original trial didn't have any audio, but I can recreate those scenes on page where I really couldn't do it with radio. So there's a lot of differences.
Gilbert, let us know if you're going to do a book signing in Atlanta. We'd love to meet you in person, buddy.
I'm sure I will. I'd love to do that, Mark.
There you go. Gilbert King, Bone Valley Podcast. Nicole Bennett, not Emmett. No, Emmett. No, yeah. Nicole Bennett, not Emmett, our digital friend. She endorsed this to me, Deborah. She's like, you've got to listen to the Bone Valley Podcast. And she's like a true crime nut. So I trust everything she says. I mentioned Netflix on the show. Deborah, have you caught up with the latest season of Black Mirror?
No, I don't have Netflix right now.
Oh, well, I'll add you to my account. So there, I love that whole series. I don't know if you're a fan of Black Mirror at all. Have you seen the previous series? There's one episode in particular, Paul Giamatti stars. I teared up watching. It was. I mean, Black Mirror can get kind of crazy, psychotic. I mean, there's some dark stuff. This wasn't dark like criminally or bloody or violently, but emotionally, I was like, oh my God, this. So if you have Netflix, watch the Paul Giamatti episode of Black Mirror first, because it was emotional. It was unbelievable. Strong endorsement there. All right, good stuff. Gilbert King, Bone Valley Podcast. All right, updating the economy. President Trump says if the Fed does not lower interest rates, there could be a slowing of the economy. In a social media post, the president called Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell Mr. Too Late. I guess I'd rather be called too late than too early. As you know, anyway. He also urged that Powell should be removed from his post. CBS Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady has more.
A lot of investors I'm talking to are saying that there is a fear now that you could see the president try to take legal action. Now, for context, there is no legal precedent to remove the Fed chair without cause. But that doesn't mean that the president couldn't try to undermine and sort of just any hint of this sort of back and forth between these two institutions that are supposed to be separate. Yeah, you're likely going to see a lot more uncertainty.
Unbelievable. I fully believe that the Trump administration is going to try. They've been pushing every boundary. I don't see why they would not push this one and come up with a reason, because with cause, you can remove the Fed chair or the governors with cause. So I don't, if they went to the Aliens Act of 1799. I don't see why they wouldn't try to oust the Fed chair, because obviously he has gotten under President Trump's skin. He wants those interest rates cut like they're doing in Europe. President Trump, by the way, he's Longoria. Have you noticed he's lost weight? Do you think he's on Ozempic or
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
like he's noticeably thinner than he was in his first presidency. Speaking of Ozempic, this is a jaw-dropping number. Deborah, how much are we spending on these weight loss drugs in the United States?
The Ozempic craze continues. In fact, Americans shelled out an estimated $71 billion for weight loss drugs in the year 2023. That is the same amount of money the U.S. government dispersed in foreign aid that same year. Researchers say that sum marks more than a 500% increase in the GLP-1 drugs. And with more competitors in the market, the price continues to decrease. The weight loss drug market is forecasted to increase to $105 billion by 2030.
That's crazy. $71 billion spent on that. I need to go on a diet. I'm getting to the point where I'm in that GLP range where the doctor's like, you're getting too chubby, Aram. I gotta.
Did Smilin say something to you again?
Smilin's like, why aren't you doing the no carb, Tubbs? But here's why I would be hesitant to take it. And I'm not judging anyone that does. If you do, whatever makes you feel better. As long as your doctor says it's okay and healthy. I've got a friend that is on it, and he used to be my wingman eating buddy. Right? We'd go to the steakhouse. We'd go to all-you-can-eat buffet, like the Chinese buffet that we went to long ago.
Oh, yeah, we got to go back.
That used to be my dude. And I've gone out to dinner with him a handful of times since he's been on. I don't think he's on Ozempic. It's Mounjaro or something. But knowing him, he's probably got, some black market off-brand version of it. Anyway, he looks great. He's lost weight. He looks phenomenal. But he can't hang anymore. He totally does not have the appetite that he used to have. And food is the basis of our friendship. Like, that's what we do. We go out and eat together. And we'll go and sit down and order 3 apps and then have, their entree, and then we'll have at least 1 or 2 desserts. And I went out to dinner with him the other day, and he's like, I'll get a soup.
Soup?
Well, not even a chunky soup. The soup that eats like a meal. Vinny, it's runny. It's soup, Vinny. So that I don't know if I could. I love food so much. Yeah, I'd like to, be at my fighting weight, like 180. I'd be 180, be sick. But I love food too much. I'd hate to go out to a restaurant and be like, I just want a soup. Give me a soup and a salad. I don't want to be that guy. I enjoy food too much, but I'm getting to the point where I believe my physician might be like, all right, you're morbidly obese, kid. I got our buddy Eags sent me, I posted in my Instagram story, Deborah, at Mark Aram, by the way, a picture of me from career day on Friday at Hightower Elementary. And he goes, kid, you're losing weight. And I was like, I've never been fatter, but thank you. I guess it was a very complimentary picture. I've never been fatter. Anyway, thank you, Deborah. 71 billion with a B. And we found out there are 10 billion chickens. So $7 for every chicken. That's how much we're spending on weight loss drugs here in the United States. All right, we'll get back to our top local stories when we come back. But first, let's check the Tuesday morning ride around town, live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. Hey, are you on Ozempic, little guy? You look skinny as heck, too.
No Ozempic here.
Yeah, just eating healthy. Eating right.
The Banya soup diet.
What's on the roads, buddy?
Watching a crash right now, marking Spaghetti Junction, 285 eastbound, the inner loop, right at I-85. It knocks out the left lane. Tow truck on scene, so hopefully they'll clear this one up pretty soon. We also had some earlier trouble heading up into Tucker, 285 northbound near La Vista Road. That has since cleared. All lanes open there. Still a big jam up in Brazelton with that earlier truck fire cleanup. Only the left lane open, 85 northbound before Highway 53, exit 129. Highway 124 definitely slow as an alternate, but it will get you around it. Traffic brought to you by Macy's Backstage. What will you find at Macy's Backstage? How about fun Mother's Day gifts? Get low prices every day on unique finds before they're gone. Find a location near you at macy'sbackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Eric Erickson.
I try even when I don't agree.
The opinions expressed are his.
To at least exercise some basic empathy.
And that's what makes you listen.
Coming in like a wrecking ball, taking it all out. It's fantastic.
Eric Erickson.
Today, starting at noon.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
You still want a new deck on your house, but you think you may have missed a deck building window? Well, you're wrong. Dave Baker here. At Ben Hill Renovations, deck building goes on year-round. Whether your existing deck is old, rotting, and unsafe, or you just want to upgrade your outdoor living space, now is the perfect time to get the ball rolling. Check out their new website at bhrenovations.com. Better yet, go to their showroom, speak with the designer, and see all that they have to offer up close. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Avoid the stress of preparing to sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. You can skip the hassle of spring cleaning and sell your home fast for maximum value. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. Don't worry about showings, open houses, or costly repairs. Mark Spain Real Estate's guaranteed offer allows you to bypass the market, receive an all-cash offer, and close within days. With over 12,500 five-star reviews, you can trust Mark Spain Real Estate to sell your home fast with their guaranteed cash offer. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
City of Hope, a place where seemingly impossible blood cancers become treatable, curable. With more than 19,000 bone marrow transplants performed, we're the largest and most successful program in the U.S., making major breakthroughs in treating leukemia, lymphoma, and rare blood cancers, personalizing a treatment plan right down to your DNA. Now the experts striving to make the impossible a reality are closer to home. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with
even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. Shopping for your wife? Tuck those studs away for your anniversary. Upgrading your ring? Surprise your daughter with her first pair of diamonds. No matter how you spin it, there's no better deal in jewelry than Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
At the Original Mattress Factory, we know most people don't love mattress shopping. In fact, many dread it. And why wouldn't they? Many mattress stores use high-pressure sales techniques like today-only pricing and tout features that don't really offer a benefit. They offer an overwhelming number of options to confuse things even further. At OMF, we do things differently. Our showrooms are easy to navigate, and our sales team actually cares. Our goal is to answer your questions, not pressure you into purchasing. OriginalMattress.com.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
Spring is the perfect time to update your home, and America's Best Choice makes it easy with these spring specials. Highest quality, energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. Take 10% off a new deck and create the outdoor oasis of your dreams. No pressure, no gimmicks. Visit abcwin.com today to schedule your free consultation.
11:24 on the Mark Arum Show. Coming up after the 11:30 news. Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Billy Idol Joan Jett. Right after the noon news, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K Day Bonus Blitz right before Eric Erickson begins his broadcast. So that's coming up at around 12:06 here on 95.5 WSB. We've been obviously updating a lot of store closures recently. Like what are some of the stores? Party City, Bed Bath & Beyond. I didn't see this store starting to close locations, though, Deborah.
This seems like a bad sign. Goodwill confirms the closing of several stores. Now, bosses are saying it's underperforming stores that they're shutting down, but they also plan to lay off about 90 workers alone this month. Shoppers are disappointed, and others wonder, where am I going to donate?
Every year I donate. And Sanjay, my accountant for Brass Tacks Accounting, can definitely verify that I always donate to Goodwill, and they give you the receipt, and you go and you can write it off in their taxes. Is it just because people aren't in the position to donate anymore that Goodwills are closing? That seems counterintuitive. There's my buddy Kevin Dankowski used to work here. He is like the Goodwill king. He could teach a master class on this. He'll go to Goodwill, and he'll find like this weird Art Deco lamp from like the early 80s for like $1. And then he goes on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or something and sells it for like $25. Like that's his side hustle. He goes to Goodwill. I haven't shopped at a Goodwill in a while, but I know some of the baseball card dudes, they love hunting for old cards at Goodwill. I would imagine Legos might pop up.
Every time Lego, I try to go there once in a while, too.
Yeah, anyway, that's surprising me that Goodwill is closing. I didn't grow up in a town with Goodwill. We had Salvation Army. That was it. I didn't know about Goodwill till I moved to Atlanta. Clark Howard, allegedly, used to donate his shirts to Goodwill. And if you donate clothes to Goodwill, like a dress shirt, they have to dry clean it first before they can put it out. And Clark would donate the shirt, let Goodwill dry clean it, and then he'd go and buy it for less than the cost. I don't know if that's confirmed or not. My computer just died, Longoria, so I don't know our out time. Should I stop talking now?
No, we got about 45. 20,
I'll stop talking.
40 seconds.
All right, Sabrina is standing by. She's going to update good news on the market thus far. When we come back, we'll check in on our top local stories. Hey, what's going on with those deported students or students that lost their visa due to ICE? Deborah's going to update that story. And we'll check back in with Father Marcel Taillon. He is heading to Rome, and he will be there for the papal funeral. So we'll recheck my interview with him coming up after news, weather, and traffic.
Coming up from the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, a Delta Classical concert featuring Beethoven's Missa Solemnis with the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra Chorus, May 8th, 10th, and 11th at Symphony Hall. Details at aso.org.
Cancer upends your life.
we're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer with experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
I know a lot of dudes listening right now had a mullet back in the 80s. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. No embarrassment. I had one as well. But I bet there's a bunch of fellas going, as embarrassing as that mullet was, I still wish I had the hair to have a mullet. That's where my friends at Advanced Hair come in. Now, I'm not saying they're going to give you a mullet, but if you've got a receding hairline or you've got bald spots and you want to regrow your hair from the 80s, Advanced Hair is the place. Quick, simple, one-day treatment, and your real hair begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. If you want your hair back, now's the time. Advanced Hair is the place. Takes just one visit, but first you need a free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results, your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. Online at advancedhair.com.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage door should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. Pope Francis' body is lying in state in a private chapel at the Vatican. Ann Thompson has more from the Vatican this morning.
Tomorrow morning, his body will be removed from Casa Santa Marta, where it is today, and it will be processed to St. Peter's Basilica, where it will lie in state Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That's what we believe at this point.
Now, the Pope's funeral set for Saturday, 4 a.m. Eastern Time. Meanwhile, cardinals from around the world are gathering at the Vatican ahead of the upcoming conclave, during which a new pope will be selected. Pope Francis died yesterday of a stroke and heart failure. He was 88 years old. Scattered showers and storms are possible today. Afternoon highs around 78, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. Update on a missing teen mother and her baby from DeKalb County. We've gotten word this morning that the 1-year-old has been found. That child is safe, but the mother is still missing. The teenage mother, 16-year-old Nyla, last seen Saturday morning on Wesley Drive. Police say she's 5'7", about 170 pounds. They're asking for anybody's help if you might know where she is to give the police in DeKalb County a call. We do have a picture online. Take a look, WSBradio.com. Jason Carter, the grandson of President Jimmy Carter, saying he will not be running for governor, his wife battling brain cancer. The Supreme Court hearing arguments in a case about a group of Maryland parents suing a public school district over the right to opt their children out of LGBTQ-themed storybooks in the classroom. Sarah Harris is the principal deputy solicitor general.
When the government forces people to choose between violating sincerely held religious beliefs or forgoing a public benefit, that burdens religious exercise.
Some parents in Montgomery County say that the schools there, say that they have a religious right to ensure their children are not exposed to LGBTQ books in the classroom. Ahead of oral arguments, dueling rallies took place outside the court. President Trump meeting with Atlanta-based Home Depot and other major retailers at the White House today as business executives are looking for relief from those sweeping tariffs.
Sources tell Bloomberg that along with Home Depot, the meeting included representatives from Walmart, Lowe's, and Target. A spokeswoman for Home Depot said the company looked forward to continuing constructive dialogue with the White House. Lowe's did not respond to requests for comment, but Walmart and Target both called the meeting productive. The discussion came amid a 90-day pause in Trump's higher tariffs on trading partners, except China. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
And the markets are all in the green here at 11:33. The Dow is currently up 788 at 38,959, so up just over 2%. Nasdaq's up over 2%, and so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. He has a look at your roads.
And some better news for those coming out of Doraville into Tucker. The crash is cleared. 285 eastbound, the inner loop, right there at I-85 Spaghetti Junction, exit number 33. If you're traveling up into Brazelton, truck fire cleanup from this morning. Travel advisory continues. Just a left lane open, 85 northbound before Highway 53, exit 129. Highway 124 is an alternate, but it's going to be just as slow as the interstate right now. And downtown, seeing a tap of the brakes, 75-85 northbound, leaving I-20, making the commute up past Freedom Parkway. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today with off and on rain showers, a few rumbles of thunder possible, high 78, lows tonight in the low 60s. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy with scattered rain showers, high near 80, mostly cloudy with a few showers and storms on Thursday, highs in the upper 70s.
It is 68 degrees in Ackworth. Sandy Springs has 70 degrees, and it's 70 in Sugar Hill. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
On air,
online,
on the app,
where you get your news
is where you'll win.
Download the WSB radio app now and maybe win $1,000.
That is awesome.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz.
5 words, 5 times a day, every weekday.
This is Jill from Roswell, and I just won $1,000.
Just enter the word at WSBradio.com or on the WSB radio app.
Your next chance to win is coming up at 12.
The WSB 5K a day bonus blitz
on 95.5 WSB.
Listening to cardinals, bishops, and nuns singing in the Vatican Chapel to pray for Pope Francis. Coming up next, we'll talk to a priest en route to Rome, and Deborah's got tickets to give away. All that next on The Mark Arum Show.
Our weather can be crazy. Dry for days and drenched with storms. Extreme heat to bitter cold, and your roof takes all the abuse. Dave Baker for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. If your roof has problems, it may be showing you signs. Inside, look for wet spots on the ceiling or walls. Outside, check for streaks and stains or granules in the ground. If you find these, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issues, and they offer 0% financing. Schedule your free roof analysis at FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. Your car, running or not, could be picked up as soon as the next day. No title, no problem. Go to carsforkids.org today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer from virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. Or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com. This is Scott Slade, and I'm ready for air conditioning season. Ragsdale Heating and Air has already checked out my system, so I know it's right. Get to know the good people at Ragsdale before summer arrives. Right now, you can take up to $1,700 off a new Carrier home comfort system. And that comes with Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. And if your current system just needs some attention, take advantage of Ragsdale's $79 AC tune-up offer. You can trust Ragsdale for plumbing and electrical work, too, when you go to ragsdaleair.com or call them. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust.
He packed in the animals 2 by 2.
Ox, a camel, and a kangaroo. I tried to sing with the Yacht Rock Review yesterday, Deborah, but
How'd it go?
Amanda and Heather prevented me from crooning with Yacht Rock. It was probably a smart thing.
What was your song of choice?
I love a rainy night.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't have that that soprano-esque voice. Deborah, while I have you, speaking of musical legends, Billy Idol, Joan Jett, we have tickets to give away. When is the concert?
Yeah, Billy Idol, Joan Jett. It's a nice day to tour. Again, tour Friday, May 9th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Pair of tickets.
All right, let's do the ninth caller to Your Boy Blue. Caller number 9 to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett. That's pretty remarkable. May 9th, Ameris Bank Amphitheater, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. Political story I have not yet mentioned as far as the governor's race. Jason Carter, grandson of former President Jimmy Carter, has ruled out running for Georgia governor as his wife Kate battles brain cancer. He was the 2014 Democratic nominee for governor, says he will not enter the 2026 governor's race. Carter's wife Kate battling brain cancer, according to representative for the family on Monday. Stephen Lawson, our political analyst, is going to join us live tomorrow at 10:35. We'll talk about the governor's race. We already had Representative Estevez throw his hat in the ring. And I would imagine one of his biggest opponents on the Democratic side would have been Jason Carter, but the grandson of Jimmy Carter says he is not running for governor of Georgia because of his wife's brain cancer battle. Thoughts and prayers to Kate as she battles brain cancer. So tomorrow, Stephen Lawson, political analyst, live here on the Mark Arum Show. All right, continue our coverage of the passing of Pope Francis. Joining us on the show, Father Marcel Taillon. Father, sources tell me you are en route to Rome right now.
I'm actually leaving today. I'm flying through France to Rome. I'll be there tomorrow afternoon and plan to attend the funeral and be participating in the rituals and the gathering, obviously, with the Catholic family from the whole world. So I've lived in Rome many years, but was not present for John Paul's funeral or Benedict, who I loved very much, but it'd be a very special grace. So I'll heading out there in a couple hours.
Now, did you book the flight when you found the Pope's passing, or was this a previously scheduled trip?
So I was supposed to go on retreat with the head of the seminary there in Rome for the United States, and we were supposed to be on retreat this week. So obviously the retreat's canceled. There was a big gathering, a special dinner in Rome that I was attending. Everything's been canceled. There's days of mourning, so a lot of activities. There was even a canonization of a saint on Sunday. Blessed Carlos Acutis was supposed to be canonized, this young boy, a beautiful middle school student that was going to be canonized, but that's also been postponed, not canceled, but so everything's kind of quieting down, and I think people are pouring in. Of course, the cardinals are arriving now to start there, be ready for the funeral, but also to select and pray about his successor. So it's going to be a very tumultuous, exciting, intense time in Rome, but also for the whole world. Obviously, the Pope is a global figure. He's certainly for Catholics, he's our father, but he's also obviously a global figure for so many reasons, and really is such an important office. So, Pope Francis is the 265th Pope, so remember the Church is 2,025 years old. So it's really something. It's an institution that we can marvel at, for all its history, its dignity, and it's a very special week this week.
Father, you're the pastor at St. Thomas More Parish in Narragansett, Rhode Island. What was the reaction from your churchgoers when they found out yesterday morning the passing of the Pope?
Well, obviously, practicing Catholics are very faithful to watch, but we were all shocked, even myself, because, again, I was going to Rome on retreat, and he looked so good. He came out on Easter morning and said Happy Easter. He met with the vice president. He looked better and better than he did months ago, so it was sort of a shock on Easter morning. And Catholics believe the Easter morning's 8 days long, so we technically would say he died on Easter morning. There was a day after for us. So that was a shock as well, but it just was unexpected, honestly. So people were, I think, kind of shocked. I think people are getting more sad now because it was sort of just, it was, for all the problems he had, it was unexpected. So sort of like you have a grandfather, who's maybe in a nursing home, comes out, goes to the hospital, comes out, looks great, and then dies the next morning. It was surprising. So I think the reality of it all is kind of settling in right now, I think.
Father Taillon joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. So you've lived in Rome before, so it won't be foreign for you to get there and know your way around. But with everything in flux right now, in the middle of this 9-day mourning period, logistically, what do you expect when you get to Rome and the Vatican with all the devout Catholics coming to pay their respects?
Well, I think it's going to be quite something because this is also what's called the Jubilee. So Pope Francis inaugurated a Jubilee Year of Hope, and in Jubilee years, millions of Catholics go to Rome, so it sort of quadruples the amount of people in town. So many, we call them pilgrims, people that go there intentionally to pray, receive what's called an indulgence. So there's already millions of people in Rome, more than usual, because of the Jubilee, and now the Pope's funeral and the conclave. I can't even imagine what the crowds will be like. So it was already the city was at bursting point because of the pilgrims, because Pope Francis initiated this Year of Hope. So everyone's over there already. I can't even imagine. I think it'll be just teeming with people, and obviously there's news outlets everywhere, and it's just going to be a celebration, a mourning of a passing. But it's a very I just think it'll be overwhelmingly attended and obviously watched, as you mentioned earlier, a global event. And it's something nice because I think the Pope kind of brings the whole human family together, especially this Pope. He's reached out to non-believers and to everybody, sort of everybody's pastor. So I think people feel their pastor passed away, not just ours, sort of everybody, sort of like the family's pastor. So I think that's why there's such a strong global interest. So I think it'll be very well attended. And so I don't know. I think hope they have enough pizza, to get everybody fed.
I think you'll be fine. Yeah, just speaking of the legacy of Pope Francis, I mean, his mantra was todos, 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 everyone, trying to widen the tent of the Catholic Church. So logistically, do you have a place to stay? Do you stay at a hotel?
I'm blessed. So I studied at a seminary. Every country has their own seminary, and the United States has one called the North American College. It's on Vatican City property. It's on this big hill overlooking the Vatican. It is technically in the Vatican, so I was planning to stay there before, so I'm so blessed because I have a room there, which I'm sure would be hard to get now. But I'm kind of in a really, really good location. I think God hooked me up because I was doing my retreat. So amazingly, I'm in one of the best places to be, right close by. And I think that's the grace of having wanted to go on. I'm not on retreat now, but I have a great room and a great place. And among place I know, so I'm excited about that too.
Any idea, Father, on who the cardinals might choose in the conclave? Being in the inner sanctum, so to speak, a man of the cloth, are you talking to your fellow priests and thinking about who might be some of the names that are put forth?
So I mean, the media will put people out. They kind of people consider it like kind of a, they'll make predictions and things. But this time it's very difficult to do that because Pope Francis has expanded what's called the College of Cardinals. So the Pope appoints cardinals, and this Pope has made cardinals from first-time places all over the world. So no one knows who these cardinals are. By and large, they may not know each other very well. They're not really all together, if ever at all, or often. So they don't know each other. We don't know who they are. So it's sort of not the Pope Francis' way, a little bit different. So it's truly a more universal college, or it is a little Eurocentric, but much less so. The church in Africa is booming and Asia is booming. There's some contraction in parts of the United States, other places expansions. But, it's 1.3 billion people, but the cardinals now are from all over. So it's an open, no one knows, and I would remind people, right, when Cardinal Bergoglio became the Pope, he stepped out on the balcony. I was kind of following along, knowing a lot of people. No one knew who he was. I didn't know who he was. And then he took the name Francis. They pick a new name, right? They have to pick a name, and it can't be Peter, the first Pope. They can pick any name but Peter. We've never had one say Francis, and he's a Jesuit, and the most famous Jesuit saint, Francis Xavier. I thought he chose Francis Xavier, and he chose the founder of the Franciscans, Francis of Assisi. So total out of the box, unpredictable.
Yeah.
And that's what happened last time. And I think this time we may even have a more likely unpredictable thing, just because of the history, the appointments, and the lack of knowledge of each other. So we have to pray. I mean, it's a big deal in the church, but also outside. So we just pray that God gives us the right Pope we need for these days, and that's really the key, I think.
Father, final quick question. Did you ever in your travels get a chance to meet Pope Francis?
I did. I met him once at the Vatican. I was there, and someone had got me. I was at a mass, and he had a lot of the disabled people in wheelchairs up towards the front, and I was just behind them. So because this is early on in his papacy, he was very attentive to the disabled and the people with special needs. So I was with them kind of in that section. So he reached over and grabbed my hand as I was right in that section. So it was kind of nice. But watching him interact with the people that were immobile, he was mobile and they were not. And watching him, he took his time with them. It's sort of like even more so than the diplomats and things. It was very interesting. I remember, just really taking care of the people that were the most needy. And I was in that section, so I got to kind of watch him up close, interact, and people were crying. It was a very moving thing. So, I had that interaction with him, and of course, it's weird. A priest all over the world is, thousands of mass. We have to say the Pope's name every mass when we offer the mass, and so it was weird. But yesterday we don't have a Pope, so you don't say anyone's name. So it's kind of weird.
Changes everything.
People, it kind of comes up in strange ways when this is going on. So, but it's exciting times. I promise I'll pray for all our listeners today over there, and I would just ask people to just pray for the Pope, but also pray for the successor and the cardinals. They need our prayers too these days, as we all do. So appreciate your time and your interest in this great topic and great man.
Yeah, Father Marcel Taillon, going to have a front row seat to history. Safe travels. Next time I'm in Rhode Island, lunch on me, Flo's Clam Shack outside of Newport, which is one of my favorite joints.
You're a big spender. I'll buy you a pizza after.
Excellent. Father, thank you so much for your time, my friend. Again, the Pope's funeral will be Saturday morning, St. Peter's Square, 10 a.m. local time, which is about 4 a.m. here on WSB Atlanta radio time, but we will provide coverage for you there. Congrats to Richard in Smyrna. Won a pair of tickets to see Billy Idol and Joan Jett May 9th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater. Coming up after the noon news, I'm going to give you another keyword in the 5K day bonus splits, another chance for you to win $1,000 here on the Nifty 750. When we come back, we lost a longtime country radio voice here in Atlanta. I'll provide the sad news, but first let's check the ride around town. Checking delays on I-85 in Gwinnett County. Here's Alex Williams.
Yeah, just had some trouble quickly clear in Norcross. 85 southbound, Jimmy Carter Boulevard, exit 99. Few brake lights still back up into Duluth, but those should shake out quickly. Where it's not shaking out is up in Brazelton. Early morning truck fire cleanup continues. Only a left lane open. 85 northbound, Highway 53, exit 129. You can use Highway 124 as an alternate. And just found a new stall in DeKalb County, 285 southbound, the inner loop just below Memorial Drive. It's in the center lane, but looks like it's getting some assistance to move off to the right. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
Sad news for Catholics around the world.
Pope Francis, the news has broken within the last hour.
Pope Francis, the first Latin American pope, passes at 88.
First Jesuit pope said he wanted a poorer church, one that would include the excluded.
For up-to-the-minute coverage of the Pope's passing.
This was the sound at the Vatican.
And what comes next. Stay with 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Aram. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their comfort as a service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cybersecurity must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business, powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment and paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Stop by the new O'Reilly Auto Parts in Buford off Gravel Springs Road across from Ivy Creek Baptist Church now through April 29th for the grand opening sale. You'll get 2 times O Rewards points on select purchases, including 5 quarts of any Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil to get to your next reward twice as fast. And buy one, get one free Coca-Cola products at your new O'Reilly Auto Parts.
News is temporary, but your financial plan shouldn't be. I'm Wes Moss, and at Capital Investment Advisors, we're focused on helping retirees invest for income. This means building and managing a portfolio that delivers a steady stream of income, regardless of the scary headlines of the day. If you're ready to shift your focus from the headlines to your core pursuits in retirement, reach out to our team at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
Don't ignore any cracked bricks or concrete, floor or wall gaps, or bowed walls. You could be ignoring underlying foundation problems, and that will hurt the value of your home. Foundation problems? Visit aquaguard.net today and book your free inspection.
AquaGuard. Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, USDA Choice Bone and Ribeye Roast is on sale for only $8.97 a pound with your digital coupon. Limit 2. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Guys, if you're having ED or performance issues and Viagra and Cialis haven't worked, you need to come see Choice Men's Health. Give us a call or visit us online at choicemenshealth.com. Get your love life back and choose Choice Men's Health.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Oh, I danced to this song in high school. 75 years old today. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. In just minutes, right after the new news, I'm going to give you a keyword in the 5K day bonus split. Sad news to pass along, though. Cadillac Jack, who used to be on Kicks 101.5, he was a country DJ, sadly passed away way too young at the age of 55. I found some video. This was Cadillac Jack with Fred Blankenship on Channel 2 10 years ago, making his CMA picks.
8 o'clock. Hello, I'm Fred Blankenship. Joined by my good friend here, Cadillac Jack from Kicks 101.5, Atlanta's #1 country music station. Now, Jack, we have some great artists, some fantastic competition here. What are your picks?
Got to tell you, it was tough. The first category, Fred, New Artist of the Year, had to have been the toughest category for me to pick. Reason being, 3 of the 5 nominees in this particular category are from Georgia. Thomas Rhett, Cole Swindell, Kip Moore. I had to go, though, with a non-Georgia artist.
Caddy,
and I will tell you, Fred,
with Fred Blankenship 10 years ago. I never worked with Caddy, but we hung out socially a bunch of times. We shared an agent for a little bit. Iconic country music DJ, 55. That is way too young. So Rest in peace to Cadillac Jack. Passed away at the age of 55. I don't know the cause of death or any funeral information, but if I do find out, I will let you know.
I think it was a heart attack.
Was it a heart attack, Deborah?
I believe what I saw was a heart attack.
Good
yeah.
grief. All right. Thank you for that, Deborah. While I have you, Deborah, I've been teasing this story. What's the latest with the student visas and ICE?
The Trump administration has until 5 p.m. today to reinstate the legal statuses of 133 international students. Judge Victoria M. Calvert issued a temporary restraining order requested on behalf of the students, all who have claimed their student statuses have been unlawfully revoked. Many of the plaintiffs have been charged with nothing but traffic violations. Others have never been arrested. Calvert ordered the administration to notify the court when it has complied. A hearing is set for Thursday.
All right, 3 p.m. deadline today. Thanks for that update, Deborah.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, today's National Jelly Bean Day today. And they were first introduced to the U.S. during the Civil War and popularized and soared during the 1930s. And the name jelly bean was popularized in the 1920s as slang for a well-dressed man.
Kobe Bryant's dad's nickname was Jelly Bean.
Really?
Yeah, Jelly Bean Bryant. I'll eat them. I prefer chocolatey candies, but I won't. You give me jelly beans, I won't turn them down. When I was growing up, there was like 4 flavors of jelly beans.
Yeah, now there's like weird ones.
Trillion.
Popcorn
Yeah.
and all kinds of
all those
gross
weird
ones.
flavors. All right, happy National Jelly Bean Day.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Aram star of the show?
All right, let's see. Oh, Father Marcel Taillon, en route to Rome, joined us live. Ian Scher, senior tech contributor from CBS News. Stephanie Lai from Bloomberg. Gilbert King, Bone Valley Podcast. Check that out if you are into the true crime kind of stuff. Inez de la Quatera joined us live from Rome, Italy, just outside of St. Peter's Square. White House correspondent John Decker with the latest on the Hegseth story and the Signal app stumble again. We'll give one to Cadillac Jack, man. Rest in peace. Way too young, 55. Blue, Deborah, Longoria, and myself. I'll get one as well. Social media is active, folks. Hit me up. At Mark Arum, Markarum. Coming up after the new news, another keyword in the 5K data bonus blitz. In the meantime, stay safe. Have a great Tuesday.